Hello everyone. How are we doing tonight? We got the D&D's episode 3 of Endalor, the Western Jewel. We got the gang together. I'm going to go ahead and unmute them here in just a second on my side so that you guys can hear everyone and everything and all of the wonderfulness. Oh, my little skull dude. I got some Halloween decorations up. Just a couple. We'll probably go get more as the month continues. That way, once Halloween actually comes around, we will be very ready for the holiday season. But we just broke out the decorations and stuff literally earlier today. So we haven't put hardly any of them up just yet. But let me go ahead and unmute the folks. All right. I don't need an exterminator. They're friendly. It's one. So who do we not have? Just Belle. Varsul.
Kermie is finishing a Criminal Minds episode and will be here in just a minute.
All these people just not ready. Just How dareth?
Let's do this, and we will go like so.
Will we though? Will we actually go like so? Okay. I mean, yeah. Dev, the guy just to my right, he's actually got his stream up. And he is probably over there chatting with his stream guys. Go ahead and give him a shout out if you want to take a look and go chat with him as well. Or go steal all those people and bring them here. But that's besides the point.
We are cooking right along. I am almost done getting everybody pulled up. Took me a minute. This computer runs thus.
The guy below him, down in that corner, Kermie, is the one that's finishing up an episode of Criminal Minds at the moment. So he will be here shortly. And then we're waiting on one, but we're not going to be waiting like last week. We're not going to be waiting around. We actually had a discussion at the end of last week's session. If people are expected to be quite late, we're just going to go ahead and start without them, and they can pick up as soon as they get into they get in. I am ready. Oh, very. Oh, 100%.
Are you positive though?
No.
Positively. Like a positron.
Alright.
Ah, there's a lady.
Well, somebody dressed up all nice for us tonight. You look good.
I felt like Ishka needed more pirate.
Oh, did I not unmute that?
I want to get a tricorn hat.
Me too. It would look so cute. Let's move
There we
that
go.
camera up a little.
Now you guys should be able to hear him. Yeah? Nice? Of course, as soon as I say that, nobody says anything. Boop, boop.
What?
Awesome. I had to do a real quick audio test because one of the guys in my chat said they couldn't hear you guys, and because I forgot to turn the desktop audio back up.
Do we live?
Hi, Ice.
I can't mute them all. I don't have those powers here.
Ice is just mad I keep calling him bot.
Airbug. Alrighty, we are cooking.
Cooking with grease? Yes, I lack the Discord powers. But that's okay. I don't need them in this Discord. This isn't.
The power.
This is Quill's space. This is his home turf, home field advantage.
I mean, I'm the wife and I don't have the Discord powers, which is sad because I set most of it up.
That's okay.
She has a point.
Yeah. I need to plug my phone in.
Oh god. That laughter. God. What are you doing? Always scares me when you do that. Uh-oh.
All right. I am totally ready for this.
Awesome.
I
Is
think
it
we are
what I
looking
think
at
it is
just a
that
few
makes
more
you
minutes.
so ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna get my notes out here.
Put in a gator. Yeah, that's Florida for you.
So I said when this started, I was like, I want to write a crime show, and I'm gonna call it Florida Man, and it's just gonna be the stupidest criminals ever doing the stupidest shit you could possibly think of. But for some reason, the cops can't catch them, so they have to bring in the stupidest man in Florida to out-stupid the criminal, and his name is gonna be Florida Man. It's like,
Oh my god.
what are we gonna do? We can't catch him. They've killed 5 people. There's no pattern. We can't discern. We don't know what's going on. Got it. We'll bring in Florida Man. And it turns out it's just a bunch of people died accidentally, unconnected to each other. And that's that entire episode.
Wow.
Yeah, they just all fell into the props under their boats. Which, of course, that has to be in a certain area of Florida. Otherwise, you're going to have fan boats.
Oh god.
So it's got to be, oh, they fell into their fan. I don't know. We'll workshop it and we'll find out.
That is
All right.
beautiful.
Next time on Florida Man, we visit Duck Dynasty Fucks.
I am nowhere
Florida
near
Man.
Florida Man. Like, I cannot compare to the great Florida Man.
Florida Man.
That makes me wonder. Have you seen or have you listened to Cox and Crendor's podcasts?
No.
Okay, give me a second.
Ice, you can time me out there, but you can't time me out here. I can still call you a bot from here.
It's got a point. That
So
a
is your episode over, Kirmi? Are we all
Yeah,
here?
my episode's over. It's done.
Oh God.
Very good. Very good.
Florida man.
All right. And I assume our last will be showing up when she is able. And we don't want to wait around for too long.
I think honestly, she said she had a concert, so probably won't be showing up at all this session.
Okay.
But I spoke with her, and we are going to be. I'm going to be running her character as sort of like with a light touch, just sort of. Yep, she's there, still exists, just in the corner.
Gotcha. This is acceptable.
She's being a spider.
Yeah, just a spooky sitting
More or
on the
less,
wall.
she's being a spider.
Yeah.
Now all I see is Varsu sitting on the wall staring at us. Lovely. Now all I see is Varsu sitting on the wall staring at us.
Nice try, Ice. Somebody got me with that a long time ago.
Okay, so
You want to send Dev a ping so that he knows we're up?
I'm here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Kirby, that was
Do-
you talking
First,
about Florida Man?
I'm here.
Right.
Florida man. All right. So the last we left off.
I'll just put it here.
Sorry. The last we left off, shenanigans abound. We had defeated a group of pirates who made their way onto the ship, and one of them turned out to be spooky. We threw him in the dungeon and tied him up and did everything literally anybody could think to keep him from waking back up, even though I specifically said he was super dead. We then.
Well, you can never be too careful.
Throw him in the dungeon. We'll deal with you later.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing. We left off on the cliffhanger of Admiral Nolonia looking back at the captain of the Interceptor, eye to eye through telescope, and a deep sigh, a worried look, and we begin.
Hydrate, you bastard! Hydrate!
So, at the very beginning, a certain set of actions takes place that have been, for lack of a better term, pre-recorded, and that will be happening in the background. For now,
H2O.
I believe everybody is on the deck of the ship. Most of you are standing by Nolonia herself, and she is pensively staring back at the captain of the Interceptor. I'm going to open it up to you guys. What sounds interesting? What are we doing?
We would
I-
notice the look on her face, right?
Yes. Yes, she is very actively and pensively staring back at the captain of the other ship, which is maintaining pace with you. I don't know boat speed. I'd say the Grand Ranger is limping along at about 10 knots. 10? It's fast. It's the wind, but like I don't fucking know boats.
I don't know boats either.
Let's just say it's going a little bit
I
slower than
can't
we
help.
are.
So Ishka and Garg are pirates, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Would they know how to use like mirror signals to signal the other ship?
Do either of you guys have knowledge? I was gonna say like knowledge pirating signals, but honestly,
Garg was first mate, so he probably would.
I would give that to you. Yeah.
All right, Guard, come here for a second.
Yeah, what you need?
You have a mirror or something shiny?
I'm sure Nolonia has one in her pocket.
All right, we need the mirror. All right, I want you to signal something to the other ship.
All right. What do you want to say?
I want you to signal your insurance has been canceled.
Oh
That's
my
fair.
god. Oh my god.
Epic.
Cannons!
Now remember, I still have technical control of the ship.
Who's running the ship?
Well,
no,
the
that's right.
admiral, yeah, the admiral was found in was found derelict of her duties, and I took command of her ship, as
Oh my
per what
God.
I told her contract stated.
Mutiny.
And then gave it to a pirate.
Yeah, no, you're steering, but I am definitely loading cannons.
Oh
No,
god.
Well,
no,
technically-
she took control back because
Yeah.
I cut a man in half. So
Yes. Nelonia is currently at the helm, at the wheel, and is looking back and eyeing the captain of the other ship. She passes you her mirror, and Garg, I assume, over the course of a few minutes, you are able to flash your message. Your insurance is canceled. um, the captain takes his eyepiece down, stares at you, takes another look, shakes his head, and then calls up one of his crewmates to the helm of their ship, and then he walks away. At this point, both ships are moving on similar paths with the Grand Ranger. I would say about 100 feet, 200 feet in front of the other one, both moving at a reduced but still healthy clip. They're not disabled.
Mhm.
That is until all of a sudden the interceptor just halts. Dead stop. And you can tell that something happened. The back end of the ship dips down, and then it veers hard to port or right. It veers hard right and comes to a complete and dead stop.
Ah, they did the anchor pull thingy. Either that
I
or
mean,
something grabbed them from underneath.
Are they about to like drift a battleship like in the movie Battleship? Is that what just happened?
It
No,
sure
I think
looked like
they're pulling broadside to get a last shot at us before we pull out of range.
it sure looked like it. But here's the thing. Half of the crew just got flung into the water, and
Eee.
people are raising the alarm, and they have no idea what's happening.
Ooh.
Does
It's the
anybody want to
Kraken.
roll an investigation check for me?
Sure.
Draw your exempt from that
mean-
investigation check.
I'm fine letting them stay in the water because they don't have faces when they die.
I mean, they are
Some of
still
them don't.
crew.
Oh, should have let me roll investigation. I got 5.
Oh, go ahead. I mean, everybody's doing it, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
give me investigation, except for Trump. Ugh. This is not going well. Here, let me roll for. I don't
Barely
think I
not.
can roll for Varsu, can I?
Ah,
Quick question. Considering that it's something that is happening on the water to a ship, um, would me and Ishka have advantage on this kind of thing happening, or is this something that we've never seen before?
You know, go ahead and roll again with advantage
some cold with people.
for Garg and Ishka, because yeah, this is boat stuff. You guys are good at boat stuff.
Oof.
Well
that wasn't
done.
any better.
Gotcha.
Well done.
So much better.
There's my
And of
nat
course,
one out of the way.
Here comes Ishka.
Oh my god.
Well, at least it wasn't a death saving throw or anything.
Gar,
Right.
you get dizzy and fall down. This was wild. You did not
Well-
expect that to happen.
Well, I take the higher of my 2 rolls, right?
Yes, that's fair. That's
It's the sea police. Yar.
oh man.
Pull over.
Okay, so with I think what is that? The highest roller was a 12?
Until
No,
Ishka's second roll.
a 19.
Yeah.
So with a 19, this does not look like a maneuver. They look like all of a sudden something very catastrophic happened. And at this point, a flare goes up. And with a 19 investigation, you notice that this flare is not coming from the boat. This flare is coming from what looks like a teeny tiny raft about 100 foot behind the boat. And it is in the shape of a human waving their arms.
What
Flare is in the
what?
shape of a human, or there is a human on the raft waving their arm.
Both.
The flare is in the shape of a human waving their arms, and the human on the raft is waving their arms in an identical fashion.
Huh. That's real fucked up.
The interceptor begins to sink way too quickly. Guys, I did the math on the shenanigans that happened here. What happened was instantly fatal to any wooden ship. Like instantaneous failure. I did the math. I did flow conversions for this. That
Wow.
ship is dead.
So it was the Kraken. Do we see any tentacles?
Okay, wait a minute. I know that face. What did you do?
You'll find out soon enough.
So Admiral Melonia looks appalled and is staring again, slack-jawed. She seems to have entered one of her fugues, but this time quickly pulls herself together and screams out for the crew, hard to port, full turn, throws the wheel, it does the real cool spinny thing,
Nah,
and then
no
it
new
locks into
character.
place.
I did
and
some
the ship
shenanigans and
begins
it's great.
turning around. The interceptor is no longer giving chase, considering it is completely unable to. And as the Grand Ranger comes back around to come up to the interceptor's broadside, which has seemed to have taken on so much water that it's beginning to capsize.
Mhm.
You all can see, without a check, mind you, because it's fucking obvious, there is a 4-foot by 4-foot hole in the side of the ship. Like
Oh, wow.
a full door was just taken off the side of the ship. The edges of it are really clean. It doesn't look like a cut or a bomb. It just looks like someone picked up a square. And as you come into closer range with the raft, you see Tra sitting his happy ass on a raft. So
Lightly
Melonia
plucking on a
calls-
lute.
There you go.
That one there. Their contract is still valid. We have to go save them.
Melonia orders her men to begin pulling crew members from the water. And she sends, I don't know, let's send Garg and Ishka to go pick him up.
Okay.
You two know what you're doing on boats, so she assigns you a lifeboat to go pick up the wayward crew member and find out just what the hell just happened. 'Cause
I mean, Ishka's gonna go, but she's not gonna be happy about it.
she said, but she said. So as the crew of the Interceptor is being pulled from the water, you notice that this time the crew and secondary crew of the Wasserpot that are all on deck are digging out the manacles and the ropes. They are not taking chances with this crew, considering they've all decided to attack you in the past.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Ishka, Garg, you're going to be doing your thing. If anybody else would like to roll an investigation, a perception, or what is it? Insight to find out what happened with this crew while they're being pulled aboard to overhear anything, why don't we go ahead and roll that? Ishka and Garg, you will be busy for this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and roll an investigation, maybe. Oh, get even worse. Yes.
Well done.
Damn.
Very well done.
Oh wait,
Guys hate me today.
we're trying to overhear like why they did it or like get information on them.
Effectively, you're using perception or investigation to just absorb some of what's happening, because so far it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Well, that nat one is a thing.
So it is. So it is. Javar, Dom, and me. You hear some murmurings, especially by those who were thrown into the water without warning, that they don't have any memory of what's going on. It's the ones who were abandoning ship and seem not to have been jogged that seem to keep their mouths shut. Let's move over to Ishka and Garg. You depart in your lifeboat, and you roll on up to
Oh,
Tra,
darling, thank you
sitting
so
on his
much.
life raft, which the more you
The
look at
dimensions of it happen to match a hole in a ship?
the more you look at it, the more the curvature of this particular piece of wood seems to perfectly match the curvature of the hull of the ship. And it seems to be Ishka, you especially notice there seems to be a trace of magic on it. And Troy is sitting there, smiling wide, plucking away on his lute.
And thank you, darlings, for coming and picking me up. I really appreciate it.
I haven't picked
Oh.
anybody up yet.
Garg is gonna look at the piece of wood, back of the ship, back at the piece of wood, back at the piece of ship, and go, "Well, that's something you don't see every day." Yeah, care to enlighten us on how you acquired this very specifically shaped piece of wood here?
Well, I would absolutely love to regale you with the details, and quite frankly, I learned a thing today, and I'm so happy to have learned the thing, but I would like to get on a little bit of a larger piece of wood, if you don't mind.
All right, well, I will hold out my hand to Tra and
Climb
invite
aboard?
him on board.
Someone in Ferret's chat clipped that sentence.
Oh, God. No. End the stream. No.
Too late, I already got it.
Ah, drat.
Nice.
Oh, goodness.
Very, very good. So, you are able to pull his sorry ass into the lifeboat and move along. Is there anything you guys would like to say or do on your return trip, or is this mostly just a get him and go, not really be happy about it?
Considering this is a rescue mission, I'm going to streamline it as much as possible, ignoring anybody who might be in the water.
Most of them have made a beeline for the Grand Ranger. A few of them are being like obstinate and trying to hang on to the interceptor. But I can tell you the interceptor is almost completely sunk at this point. I would say it very literally sank over the course of about 10 minutes. it was devastating.
Beautiful.
Right. Is there
It was
anything?
like fighting the Meg, the skeleton ship.
Yeah, they
I
sunk
I
our. It didn't take
That
10
was
minutes.
fantastic.
Our ass got sunk in like record time.
I swear to God, I did the math
Very
on it.
quick.
Right, a 4 foot by 4 foot hole in a 7/8 of an inch thick piece of wood is the definable amount of space that could have been used by the spell that was cast. It was 1 cubic foot of wood, 4 foot by 3.951 feet. Uh, and the flow rate of seawater at 4 to 5 foot under the surface of the water was literally 6,000 liters a second.
Oh yeah, they sunk super
Instantly
quick.
Instantly fatal.
No amount
Hilarious.
of wood's gonna cover that hole up.
No, not at all.
Now, that's
So, I had fun with that math.
Nah, mate, you're screwed.
yeah. I
So
discovered some
yeah,
things that I can do.
shenanigans. So as you return to the ship, Captain Nelonia or Admiral Nelonia waves you guys over and asks for a report, and she stares daggers at Draw. And I assume everybody else, especially some of the people off of the Interceptor, are incredibly interested to hear this.
Why are you looking at me like that? I just took care of our problem.
Yeah, but how did you end up in the water to begin with?
Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna go down with the ship.
How did you end up in the water when you were on our ship?
Oh, well, I mean, look, all right. I had to do something, and my delicate sensibilities just don't do well fighting on top of a ship, so I just decided I was gonna deal with the ship itself.
Look,
see,
I just gotta say this one thing. If you all look at chapter 27, page 3, article 4, subsection B of your contracts, Ra has actually been awarded a discount on their re-up because they were not directly in battle and they ended a battle. So take some cues, people. Save yourself some money and remember to sign when your contract is up.
Okay.
I find it is particularly apropos that you revoked their insurance like literally minutes before that happened. That was already gonna happen.
It
This
was
whole
great.
thing was pre-decided.
Yeah,
But the fact is that you revoked their insurance seconds before it happened. And that is so Kermy. It's perfect.
beautiful. Chef's kiss. Now,
I am gonna overlook like the survivors. Did we find the insurance representative from their ship?
The captain has not been recovered yet.
Was it the no, like me, the me of their ship?
Uh, you don't see them.
Okay. If
You want to
we
roll?
do, oh yeah, roll what? Perception.
I guess an insight, honestly.
Well, that's a fat 7.
You don't know. I mean, for very many reasons. I mean, they attacked you. Maybe they didn't want to bring him along.
maybe.
If we do recover the representative alive, we must revoke their position at the company if they were part of this type of insurrection.
Well, at this point, a few of the well, no, before we get there, Admiral Nelonia looks over at Utah and says, "Okay, so you had to do something. You decided to take care of the boat. What actually happened? Because that sort of thing doesn't happen every day. That's a big goddamn hole for someone who looks like you."
Oh, darling, it's really quite simple. You see, I have picked up a skill in making some things become other things. In this particular case, long story short, I just turned a section of the hull into stone and then moved it.
Moved it.
Yeah, have you ever heard of a spell called Mold Earth?
Has this ever actually worked for you before, or was this a one-off?
This is actually the first time I've tried something like this, especially on something, as intense of a situation as it was. But this was a fantastic learning experience.
Okay. Kermit, come over here
Hey,
for a second.
so we're just going to ignore the fact that he was in the water in the first place when he was on the ship. All right. And with that, I will walk away and go make sure the other people from the boat are dealt with properly.
Okay. We will catch up with you in a second. Admiral Nelonia looks over to Kermit and says, "You, come here for a second.
Yes, Admiral.
Please mark down in your insurer's log that the instantaneous destruction of ships by use of the transmutation and mold earth spell conjunctions will no longer be covered by insurance." This was far too effective of an option to remain coverable.
I will say, well, if you actually review specific acts that are not covered, our company does not actually cover transmutation damage, so it's already okay.
You guys think of everything. All right.
Our
Will
loopholes
someone
are
please
vast.
say what?
Our loopholes, they are vast, like some people's holes in their ships.
Aha.
I would say.
Yes,
Um,
vast ship holes. Yes.
Somebody get me a report from these goddamn crew members. I want to know what happened out there. And at that, she walks away because there's no more danger. She's gonna go get a drink. And she has tasked you all and anybody else on the ship to find out what the fuck happened. So now is your chance to approach the crew members of the Interceptor and do some reconnaissance.
Nah, fuck that. I'm going drinking with the Admiral.
So be it.
Is there anyone left in the water?
You know what? I will. I am actually going to take the time to ritual cast 11 minutes. Detect magic before I go and wander amongst the sailors that we've recovered, I guess.
That's fair. That will go off in a few minutes. While you are stationary, Ishka follows Admiral Nelonia. They sit down in the crew and just stare at each other and silently sip bourbon.
Sounds perfect.
Garg is standing amongst the crew listening to them chatter. I assume Dom is standing in the back, stoically staring. Varsu is hanging from the mast overseeing. She is particularly feared.
Is she done with
Sh-
the body?
Say what?
Is she done with the dead body she was feasting on?
You suspiciously cannot find that dead body anymore.
Okay.
Wait, which dead body?
The one whose head that Varsu chewed off.
Oh.
Yeah. No one
Well.
can seem to find that particular guy.
No idea where that went.
What about you, Shay? What are you up to?
Just helping out with the crew that came on board.
Kermit,
Just
you do see
trying to
that,
hear what I can.
right? You see that all of the crew members from the other ship, save for the captain, are present. The captain seems to be missing.
Okay.
And there's a lot of chatter happening. Do you guys all want to roll me perception checks? You will hold off and roll your perception in just a moment, Tra, when your ritual cast.
Roger.
Oh, now I get a good roll.
Okay,
Nice.
never mind. I've gotten
Very
multiple
good.
ones this round.
That's okay. I still got you, boo.
Refresh.
Oh God, what did we get?
Roll better.
Right, so I elect to just roll 4 Garg from now on.
Wait a minute. I don't think you can do that.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Grip it and rip it, boys.
Oh, God.
I don't
All right.
know him. Ignore the headboard.
You don't know
He
who.
married me.
He can't prove it.
So, I just got Dr. Pepper in my eye.
Don't do
Oof.
that.
So let's not grip it and rip it.
Probably not wise.
So with
As long as you don't
have-
rip it so close to your face.
right, we have. Let me roll for Marsu's, because right. But at this point, we have a 21 on the board, so it's not going to make a difference. I'm just crit fishing.
You should hardwire that. That is
Oh
disgusting.
yeah, it's terrible. This computer sucks. Absolute shit. And I don't even think it's the internet, right? Because all the videos are still running fine. It's just
Yeah?
that app hates it.
Well,
Okay,
that's fun.
nothing doing on her. So, Ishka,
Yes.
you are listening to the crew of the Interceptor, especially the ones who seem to be the most confused. The quiet ones are they've clammed up. They're not talking. But the ones who seems to be the most confused, they say that they left port under rushed circumstances. The captain had ordered everybody on the ship, and some of them say they think they left with their claims without their claims adjuster, and everything was super weird. And then they woke up being thrown off the ship. They don't remember what happened. They just sort of hit the water, and that was it.
Interesting.
The ones who are all clammed up and not talking, they throw shifty looks towards the other ones, and they just shake their heads. Would you like to disseminate this information amongst everybody? That's an actual word.
Yes.
An actual
Disseminate. Disseminate is to spread about.
Yar
There's a
har.
different
Captain
affix
Farret.
to
Yar.
Root word.
Okay, so Ishka, amidst her fit of giggles, has the realization that something weird happens, and takes the time to spread that information to everybody who's investigating. Is there anything anybody else would like to do? I will accept. Tra, your detect magic goes off.
Cool.
The ones who are talking and confused are clean, but the ones who are quiet resonate a deep blue color that you associate with enchantment magic.
Ooh.
Would you like to roll an investigation or arcana or insight, whichever's better?
I would like to roll
Anybody
an
else
arcana.
could, if you point this out to anybody, they can also roll.
I would like to roll an arcana.
Okay.
Fuck. Now, I just can't quite put my finger on it, but There's just something magically off about these quiet folk.
The only one with any dice karma is currently drinking.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my dice always hate me, so that's just how this is.
I'm waiting to hear if there's anybody still in the water.
No, I'm sorry. I did explain
Yeah.
earlier. They did get everybody out of the water, at least the ones they could find. And I mean, the ship did go down in like 10 minutes. There is a significant portion of the crew who,
It's
just
probably
by
still in the boat.
your
What did you just?
ambient knowledge of ship, they probably went down with the ship. They were probably below decks. But so far, like maybe like a third of the crew is present and on the ship, and there's nobody else in the water who's alive. And the captain is not amongst them. Tra said something is funky magically. Ishka's drinking.
Give me
Varsu is
a quick
staring.
second. I will be right back.
Right.
Yeah, no worries.
So what were the things that we could roll?
Insight, Arcana, because of Tra's detect magic said something was funky, or investigation.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll an insight. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 sounds good to me. I'm gonna wait for Fox to get back so that everybody can get this revelation at the same time. Though I think some of you have already figured it out. So. Ouchie. So just as a quick aside, I know it seems weird that a series of actions took place before the campaign resumed. I know that's a little unorthodox, but because Tra had sort of split off on his own, and through a series of shenanigans, found himself yeeted into the water, I would. It was just something we worked out outside of game so that he could pop back up and action could resume.
Yeah, that way we wouldn't have to
Because-
take a bunch of time here at the beginning going, "Hey Tra, what are you gonna do?" It's like I already know what I'm
Yeah.
gonna do. It just let it play out in time alongside everybody else's actions.
Versus having everybody deafen and mute and doing the whole like first 10 minutes is you guys staring at me and him have a conversation.
Oh.
Yeah, something a lot like that.
Cats.
Kitty.
He knocked over my nail polish.
Oh.
It wasn't open.
I actually might have my
There's
wife
a
do my
kitty
nails for
and
tomorrow.
There's no camera? There's a kitty and there's no camera. This is
There-
no.
There are 3 kitties. Hold on. You want to hand me that one?
Well, holding them isn't gonna help
I'll
with
get
it.
'em
There
over.
we go.
Come on. Oh, you know you want up on this lap. You know you're a furry bitch who loves attention. Oh, here he comes. Come on, John.
Yeah, the
Oh my
Tri
God.
Kittens. Welcome to the Tri Kitten area. Oh.
This is Harvey.
Bees.
He got a toothpaste.
They were running concurrently? Okay.
All right, sorry about that.
Yay! Welcome back.
Parrot hype. Hype for the kitties. Kitty hype.
There
Kitty
he
hype.
is.
It's the
Mr.
Harvey
Harvey.
hype. Harvey hype.
As I said, Fox, I know you missed the explanation, but the reason a series of events happened before the campaign actually resumed was because it was already something that we had discussed, and it was just easier for it to happen, so you guys didn't have to watch me and Tra have a private conversation on camera. So,
Okay.
and it didn't affect anybody else; like it was separate over to the side. But
Right.
so everybody's back. Everybody's listening. They're charmed. You come to the realization quite suddenly The ones who are quiet are under the charm spell. The ones who were thrown from the boat and hit the water seem to have been shaken from it and have no memory of the past day and a half to 2 days. All they remember is leaving port under weird and rushed circumstances, and then woke up hitting the water.
I'm
The other
assuming
ones who
their
are not talking are charmed.
storm fog creator guy wasn't among the recovered.
The wave caller,
Yeah.
It definitely takes some.
he was not. No.
Like
He was taking care
I
of business
I make sure
below
that I don't
deck.
really have anything else
The
going
last
on
time
pretty much
anybody saw him,
while I'm
and
playing.
you have seen
So I just have
neither
like my
hide nor
character and
hair of
stuff
him.
here, and then on the other screen I just have the stream
captain is
stuff.
also
So
missing.
I try and keep distractions to a minimum.
Now, being a pirate, and considering that the captain was at the helm when the ship did its thing, unless she ran inside below deck, they'd have to be somewhere in the water. So
By that logic, yes. By that logic, yes, the captain did not have enough time to make it to a part of the ship that would instantly cause them to be lost. This is where things get interesting.
well, I'm going to call out and
Yeah, it works pretty well for me.
basically make it
It
known
keeps my
that
distractions to a minimum. I
the
have my
captain was
Xbox over here, but it's
obviously not
also
here,
completely turned off.
and
So
I would be I would keep an eye out just in case somebody comes scurrying up the side of the ship at some point.
Okay. Would you like to take the time and send one of the crewmen aboard the ship to inform Melonia and Ishka, who are
Oh no, I'll say it loud enough in front of the crew that was recovered, specifically to see their reaction.
oh. Well, roll me an
Right, but
intimidation
we still
check.
don't know anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
So-
the admiral has not been informed.
I mean, I have nothing to break this spell, so
No.
not until.
No, it did seem a good hard slap by hitting the water did seem to do the trick. But for the most part, it seems that the majority of them have no memory of Day's charm. So without more information, it might just be more of the same.
Are they all intermingled with each other?
The crew of the Grand Ranger has lined them up along the outer edge of the deck, and the majority of them are manacled and kneeling. They are not being given
Right, but are
free
they separated between charmed and not charmed?
rein.
If not, I want to start doing that.
If you want to do that, yes, absolutely. Anybody who's willing to talk, you move them into one side and the other. That takes a few minutes. Wow. Did you roll?
Rolled an
Fox,
8.
you rolled an 8 for your intimidation.
Yeah.
It didn't pop up on the thing. I'm gonna refresh the screen.
Yeah, I had to refresh to see it too.
Okay, so with an 8, a lot of the guys who are staying silent just sort of mean mug you, and the guys who are already confused and sort of look to be shitting their pants, mostly just sit there and whimper. Um, so Trot is separating them. I'm gonna go ahead and say that one of the crew members grows a set of balls and decides to go make his report to Admiral. So he goes in and reports Ishka's present and can hear the conversation. It's mostly just a report that one of the fancy looking guys. He did a spell, and then he could tell that some of these guys were charmed. The ones who are talking seem to have had that charm broken and have no memory of the days that they were on the ship, just that they left the port mysteriously. And Admiral Melonia, she takes another shot and says, "Have we recovered the captain? Have we recovered their druid? Have we recovered any information whatsoever?" And uh, as far as anybody can tell, no. Tra, you still have what? Detect magic lasts 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, if I remember correctly.
While you're sorting these guys, give me an investigation check with advantage, because one of these guys looks a little strange.
Ooh. Go ahead and do that. An investigation, eh? That's not bad. 16.
Do you want to go for a higher number? I did give you advantage on
Oh, did you? Oh, well, don't mind if I do. 12. So yeah, 16.
With a 16, you're able to pinpoint the guy. He is an unassuming crew member. Doesn't look like anything special, except under your magical spyglass. His shade of blue is darker. And it doesn't correspond with any particular school of magic so much as something deeply familiar to you.
Well, let's see. I know that he's not going to talk because none of them are talking. So we are going to take the time to ritual cast Identify on this individual. That will take 11 minutes.
So you sit down and stare at this man
And
for 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, and I am dropping Detect Magic in the process.
Okay, so the colorful auras around these men and various things around the ship begin to fade, and you sit down and begin preparations for the Identify spell. He does not look happy. He looks extremely, extremely perturbed by what you're doing.
I just want to point out that that is a range touch spell.
Yes, so I am in physical contact with this individual for the entire time. Yes, like hand on
like
shoulder.
hand on face. Like...
Actually, no, absolutely, just like right under his chin.
He decides that he's had enough of this, and he stands up and he dives off the side of the ship.
I think we found him.
Everybody jumps to run and try to catch him.
Can I make an attempt? I just want to make an attempt, as since I'm like so close to him, just an attempt to grab him. I don't expect it to succeed.
Of course, I would say either strength or dexterity.
I would much rather dexterity.
Okay, take a dexterity check, and he will do the same.
Quick, transmute the water.
That's going to be an 11.
The surface of the water to a stone.
I actually can't. I actually can't do that. That is one of the things I realized that spell can't do. It is the transmutation feature is very specific, which is unfortunate for some scenarios. But yeah, that's a
dex check of 11.
Yeah,
he beats you.
Of course,
and
he
is
does.
able to dive from the ship. At this point, I'm gonna open.
Can swim
Ishka's got a swim speed.
really well.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you're over yonder with the captain drinking.
You are
not necessarily, because we got told that there's magical beings on the ship.
Okay.
Oh, so you guys made
So
your way over?
I would assume that Ishka leaves the galley, leaving the admiral to her drink, and watches this man dive over the side of the ship while Tra is trying to reach out and grab him. And you can take that initiative and dive in. You could call for backup. You could call for a ship to try and catch him. Here's the thing: the guy never surfaces.
Oh.
So, if you guys would like to make a check, we can play that out. But it does not look like this guy has any intention of being captured.
Uh,
I'm gonna look over the edge and I'm gonna say, "Oof,
You know, charmed or not, suicide is not covered.
With your previous insight check, I can't remember who rolled the insight check, but no charm spell is strong enough to cause someone to commit suicide.
Yeah,
that was Ichika with a 21.
the
Yeah, so
effects pretty much
each
always
hit-
end when they
Yeah,
have to do
there's
harm to themselves.
absolutely no way a man who is charmed would leap from a boat
harm themselves." Yeah.
and then attempt to dive down as far as possible in an attempt to escape. There's no way a charm would give such suicidal intent.
Now is a really good time to point out that Hermes' Arcana is 0, and his intelligence is 10. So,
Whew. All right.
Doggins.
So at
What's
this
up, Grimskull? How you doing, man? Welcome back.
He's been down there a pretty
So
long
this person's a
time.
mermaid and they are
One
escaping.
of
They're
the
definitely
lifeboats
something.
attempts to.
What they are, I have no idea.
Okay. 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 Fair enough.
Ooh.
So here we go. So we move along to I would say the
It is going well.
very good.
Considering
good.
considering I almost died last week, and
My
now
apologies.
I'm alive.
So we move
I'm
along.
pretty happy.
The captain is gone. The crew has been moved to the brig. A lot of what is happening is questioning, and the admiral is personally overseeing the head count. At this point, the the crew has come up with nothing, and the admiral comes to the decision that with no more information to be gleaned and no one to ask,
I'm
it is
fairly
time
certain.
to move on to
I would just be rolling up a new
the
character.
rest of the journey. If there is anything anybody would like to do in the remaining day and a half of travel from what happened to the island and the town of New Bessem, this is the time to do it.
I assume during this time frame, I'd be able to kind of find the brig.
Yes.
And kind of take a look at what's going on down there, just in general. Just kind of looking.
Over the course of the following day, following all of the excitement, you do hear some rumors about what had happened. The crew member that is currently in the brig, besides all the ones that were recently picked up, and you head that direction. You find Admiral Nalona performing some interviews and some interrogations. And you pass through and you lay eyes upon what everybody else was so mystified by, the silvery body of a now slightly stinky dead man.
I think man needs to be in quotations.
They were implied quotation.
Okay, and this is the featureless face that everybody else saw last session.
That's correct.
And you said the captain's down there as well right now?
She is in a side room off the brig holding interviews.
Okay.
But she's not in the main brig area. Short of the cells to your right and left, which I assume there are 3 or 4 of them, nobody wanted, like, violently. No member of the crew wanted to be put into the room with the body. The crew from the other ship all ended up in the other 2 cells.
Well, we need to dispose of this.
I might have an idea.
And what idea is that?
Well, we could always see if Barsu's hungry.
That would actually be... That would be acceptable.
Are you serious about that? We know this thing came from that land because it wasn't supposed to sail out yet, and yet it did, and we're not gonna take it back and ask what the hell it is?
There are some things that should be disposed of before they become more dangerous. And on top of that, this particular creature I am, through my studies, familiar with, and I would much rather we properly dispose of this before anything else can take place.
Now, are we all down here or no?
You can be, if you'd like to have followed him down to look more at the information that fresh eyes and all.
I mean, Ishka doesn't particularly trust him, so she's probably gonna drag Garg along with anyways. She wants to keep her eyes on him. He disappears, he shows up on a boat, sinks another boat. I don't know.
Does the body smell like fish?
This body smells like death.
Yeah, no, I would just say a very, as far as your line of work is concerned, a very familiar smell of a day-old body.
A body that is no longer covered by insurance, and therefore not your problem. No.
I wanted to see if it smelled like fish because I'm a tabaxi and I like tuna. So
I'm gonna chime in and say, so you know what this thing is?
I do. Yes.
And what name does these things go by?
This is a doppelganger. They are a very crafty and very dangerous shape-shifting creature.
Well, my idea was to burn it, but the druid on board decided that was a big no-no, so we were going to do that when we got to shore.
Well, it would make me feel much more comfortable if we could however we decide to dispose of it, but I would like it to be disposed of as soon as we can. If I had known this was here yesterday, I would have asked to do it then.
Yeah, maybe you could have spoke up against the druid then.
Quite possibly, but where's the... this is happening one way or the other. Can we at least let's at least try the appropriate procedures, and I'll go speak with the captain.
Now, before you go,
You
you
sure
did
it's good?
mention. Hold on. You did mention that this thing becomes more of a problem. What do you mean by that?
Well, as the history of these people, they were supposedly created by a deity who has a very strong aversion to them showing or even revealing in any fashion their true form, and I would rather not get on the unfortunate side of a deity, if you know what I mean.
So we should get rid of it in secret, you're saying.
Oh, it doesn't have to be well, I mean, everyone on this ship has probably seen it. I'm sure it's been a day, people going in and out, especially loading up all these individuals. There's not a whole lot we can do about that, but I would like to get it done soon.
All right. Well, we could do the other idea that Quill had, the Viking Funeral idea.
You do now conveniently have a 4 foot by 3 foot long piece of flotsam.
That
Right, we do.
That would be preferable to some of the other alternatives that have been brought forth today.
So, did anybody want to inform the admiral, or was this something that y'all were going to take care of?
Considering she's probably within earshot of our conversation, I would assume she heard.
Well, she's off in a side room at the moment, so she may or
Yes,
may not
she's-
have, but she's probably otherwise engaged, my guess.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Well, I would assume that the entire brig is the left and right hand side of a ship, and being a ship, it's not exactly that big of a room.
No, that's fair. And I think at this point the admiral comes out and sees you guys standing around the mostly empty brig, and says, "Okay, so what is this I heard about burning? Let's not burn anything on my ship, please."
Oh,
And
we're not gonna burn it on the ship. We're gonna more or less kick it out to sea, and give it a funeral pyre in the ocean send off. If you
that makes a lot of sense. It has been stinking up my brig all goddamn day. Why don't you look? I'm super busy. I'm trying to figure out what the hell happened here and what it was doing on one of my ships to begin with. So please, if you could, take care of that for me. I'm going back to this. And so, at that point, you have the Admiral's permission to do with this body as you would.
cool.
The doppelganger is holding together rather well for a time before formaldehyde and other embalming solutions, but for it is not pleasant as you carry this to the deck and set it up with a fire.
I
You
I
guys
I,
want to use
for the fire itself, I specifically would like to take a piece of loose wood that I assume, because big ship paddle, I assume there's loose wood that's been kind of gathered up, and just kind of hold it out to Shay.
Anybody got a light?
I was gonna say, we could take some oil for the lanterns, douse the body in it, and then have Shay just conjure fire from a distance.
Well, Shay, which method would you like to do?
Well, the fireball with the body covered in oil would make a pretty explosion.
Very well.
Fire
Well,
would be
lamp
better.
oil doesn't exactly explode. It's just very flammable.
Still, it would would go up a lot quicker, and fire is pretty.
Fair.
So a little bit of wood later, a little bit of kerosene here and there, and the crew lets you use the deck hoist to lower this pyre ship to the surface of the water and release it. It is floating about, I'd say, 40 feet off the port side of the ship. And Shay, if you would like to hit me with a firebolt spell, roll to attack.
Oh God.
While she is doing this, Tra is just going to whisper a little prayer. Ooh,
Nice.
nat
Sorry,
20.
are you Ellie now?
Nat 20. Very
That's
nice.
Beautiful.
What was that about bad rolls? Huh?
Beautiful.
Okay. Right. So my crew, my Friday night crew, we have a new Ellie. Everybody back away slowly.
Hey now. I'm not quite
So-
as volatile.
With a
No,
nat
not you, my dear. Did you not just hear Tra?
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, Tra's gonna say a little prayer.
Yeah, I
Is that a chaotic prayer?
very much like kind of quiet and under my breath though, like to myself.
I know, that was just a joke.
Yeah. Not gonna like preach on the hilltops in the middle of this ship.
Ellie never has to do that either. She can just say a quiet little prayer and set a whole town on fire. It's already happened once.
No God.
Ashes to caches, purse to purse.
Jesus Christ.
So the fire ignites. This perfectly placed fireball hits a pool of kerosene, and it doesn't explode, right? But
But it's still fire.
the beautifully green and blue hued iridescent flame is visible for several hours on the horizon. And I think at this point we're going to move forward. Business is taken care of. A weight has been lifted off of the hearts and minds of the men and women who were dragged from the water and thrown into the brig. They seem to be much calmer now that there's no longer this presence on the ship. And I think at this point we are going to move along, and the ship is landing. Um, it is the following day. Everybody take a long rest, get your health, get your spells back. Everybody's feeling good. It is the following morning, and we will continue in just a minute. But for now, let's take a small break while I get the next section all set up.
Okay,
Marshmallow
while
with
we're
a long
taking this
stick.
break, I would like to take this moment to reveal the plan for the pursuing ship that I came up with.
Okay.
Had Tra not sunk it himself.
Go right ahead.
I mean, it was
interested.
a good plan. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
Okay, so given the ship that we're on, I would assume there are barrels of gunpowder or some kind of powder keg of some kind, right?
The ship that you're on has an entire section of the hold dedicated to black powder, and that is called the magazine. Every
Mhm.
gunship has one.
So I was gonna take probably 2 barrels, one with me, one with Dom. Uh, basically prime them for exploding at the littlest catalyst, and then have Shay kind of go poof as we let them off the back of the ship, and as the other ship got close enough, they would explode, take out the ship. Go full sea of thieves on them.
I'll drop some legit ass depth charges on them.
Pretty much.
Very nice.
So that was the plan. Too bad we didn't get to use it.
I think, to be honest, this would have been a fairly decent plan. As we sit right now, it would seem as though that would have slowed them down. Interestingly enough, though, like, I think things might have turned out differently if it had been through the party's actions that the ship was slowed versus the actions of one particular stowaway. I know that it hasn't
Stowaway.
reached in conversation yet, but Shra, do you want to explain how you got onto their ship and the shenanigans you pulled below decks?
Oh, so yeah, so
I thought you were knocked out, like basically floating in the water, waiting for rescue.
yeah, so there's I almost got killed, of course, by fucking
An exploding ship.
yeah, the exploding ship, which was a whole thing. Hold up.
Plead the fifth.
Yeah, about that.
I have no idea where that fire came from.
Yeah, I essentially had gone.
Oh.
I had gone below decks, like when I darted across the ship and down below decks was because I wanted to get down to like the side of the ship, like access to the side of their ship, and I was trying to do the thing that I ended up doing from like the window on the hull of our ship, and somebody's explosion knocked me out and into the water, so I had to like climb my way onto their ship and do it from there. and then it took me so long to figure out how the hell I was gonna get back onto the ship. Like it took me so long to figure out how I was gonna do that.
After some discussions, like I contacted everybody to ask how they planned on taking their third level. And through that conversation with him, we discovered that wizards get something weird. They get second level subclassing. And so he already had access to his transmutations. So he could
Yeah.
literally just like laser cut a hole out of the ship
Well,
and then just
So the way that feature works, it's minor alchemy, and it's you can temporarily alter the physical properties of one non-magical object, changing it from one substance to another. And there's actually a specific list of substances. It's like wood. It's wood, stone, but not gemstone, iron, copper, or silver, transforming it into a different one of those materials. And 10 minutes using that a 10-minute ritual gives me 1 cubic foot of material changed. So I just turned a cubic foot of the side of the hull into stone and then used mold earth to push it out. And then dropped concentration on the minor alchemy so it turned back into wood, so I had something to float on.
Not bad.
impromptu an instantaneous ship deck.
It was great.
Like Tra, the ship killer.
I mean, apparently, like, all I need is like 10 minutes and I can take a whole ship out.
I did the math, right? And I spent like an hour and a half Googling, like, how big of a hole is fatal to a ship? What happens if this sized hole is caused? Literally, it got to the point where we were looking at like Noah history stuff, and I think they, Dearest Tra here posted an article about a yacht with a like 11-inch hole sinking in 13 minutes. And I was like, yeah, no, like a 4-foot hole is instantaneously fatal. It just is.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
4 square feet just instantly going poof outside of a side of a ship. Yeah, that would be fatal. Well,
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
pretty
that-
sure 10 minutes is very generous for a ship of like that.
the liters per second flow rate was in the high 6,000 when I
Yeah.
did the flow rate analysis on a hole that big. It's bonkers. The ship's dead. Instant death. Draw the
Yep.
ship's lair. So at this point, I think everybody's back. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never left.
Dev, you still there? Is he still alive and just? Let me see.
Don't know yet.
I know that Dev has some IRL stuff, so I don't hear him right now on his stream.
I don't hear him
Oh.
either.
What is Traw's health like?
Well,
we
everybody
just took a
has
long
gotten a
rest.
long rest in the time that it took from the burning of the odd man to the burning of the doppelganger to the time at which y'all land has been long enough for a long rest. Everybody's good. As far as when Tra was drugged back onto the ship, I don't know what his health was like, but he didn't seem to be very damaged.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we got a long rest, so everybody should be back to
Yeah.
full.
Yeah.
It's 5e simplified health regain.
Yep,
Really?
literally just take a long rest, everybody's good. Take a nap and you're fully healed because
Well, a
fuck it.
little bit more than a nap.
Yeah.
I mean, Ishka could take a nap.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Some races it is a nap because it's like 4 hours and they're done with a long rest.
Specifically, they're not even like asleep. They just sort of like zone out for 4 hours.
I mean, that's kind of starting to sound like my real life, to be perfectly honest.
Right? So do what? Okay. Well, we will give them a few more minutes.
What the hell?
That's what it
Uh,
feels.
What
I
the
get it.
hell?
Okay. Alrighty, I got a message.
That's what it feels like.
What the hell? Stone Daddy. And it's...
What?
That's good.
Wait.
That is good.
I missed
Oh
something.
my
What happened?
I think they're also on Genshin.
No, I posted a picture.
That's good. That's fantastic. That is actually how it appears every time it happens.
I mean,
Oh god.
Alright, so I
that's
got
canon as far as I'm concerned as of right now.
Yes, agreed.
I got green light and go ahead from Dev, so we shall continue on.
Sweet.
So as the ship pulls into New Bessem, the town that has more or less cropped up around the easiest landing on the eastern side of what you have all learned to be Endalor. The docks seem to be busy, but in standard fashion, both ships that should be docked here, waiting for Admiral Nelonia to escort her back across the ocean for a third wave. Both ships are gone, burned and sunk. So the docks are empty, save for fishing vessels and small craft. There are no other large ships here. So it's relatively simple for Admiral Nelonia to park the boat. Ship words. To
Doc.
dock. And so she, as many of the crew, escort the crew members from the brig off first. The crew of the Wasserpot take leave, and the bulk of the crew begin unloading supplies and things that were loaded onto the ship. Admiral Nelonia gathers all of you together on the helm of the ship, and following the crowd, walks you all down the gangplank and into New Bessa. And then from her coat pulls a grapefruit-sized glass orb and says to you, "This is something that I was given by the quartermaster at Waterdeep. I have no use for it, but I wanted to pass it along to you guys because you did me a solid. You repelled borders. You guys helped me make it through one of the most stressful times of my life, and I wanted to repay the favor." So he hands, or rather, she hands you a glass globe. Who would like to
One.
take it?
One glass globe, right?
One grapefruit-sized glass globe.
Look,
Ishka doesn't want the globe. She steered the ship and it's hers now as far as she's concerned. So she's just gonna walk right past her, look at the ship and go, "I'll be back for you."
I'll go ahead and take it. If
As
no one
much
else
as
will,
I-
I'll go ahead and take it.
I really just want to knock it off a ship.
Yeah. If no one else will.
The cat instincts kicking in, wanting to knock the shiny down.
Yeah, no, my eyes, my pupils get real big, and I go. So, yeah, take it, Tra. Take it, put it away, Tra. Hurry.
So I don't know what it does. I never really got time to play with it, but they called it a flash globe. So do with that what you will. As you can see over here, we have a blacksmith. They will help you get outfitted. You guys are here under orders from the Crown of Waterdeep, and the blacksmith has been ordered to do their best to give to you whatever you need to make this happen. There's a bunkhouse just down the way from the blacksmith. It has beds. Again, because you're here under the Crown's guidance, they will provide beds for you at a steeply discounted rate. There is
Nice.
no such thing as a free lunch. Hold on.
There's for pirates.
5-finger
God.
discount.
Bad reputation, my love.
There is a tavern across from the bunkhouse, adjacent to the blacksmith. It seems to be rip-roaring with a lot of crew members who recently had a very, very bad day, all deciding to get a little toasty. As you turn from Nelonia and begin walking towards wherever each of you may want to go, you notice that the people here are a very odd mix. It seems to be primarily human, owing to the sincere, uh, just plethora of people who seem to have come from Waterdeep. The it's who walks beside the humans that really shock you. It is almost a 60-40% mix of human and Anansi. Spider people, like Varsu. They're everywhere. They're walking down the streets, they're climbing on the tavern. They just seem to live here. There are hundreds of them, and they treated like citizens. There's an elf over there. There's a few dwarves over there, but predominantly it is human and Anansi in this setting. Um, so at that point, why don't y'all tell me what you'd like to do, as you now have free reign of this city?
I would like to enact a new law. No.
No,
how big
thank you.
How big is this town we're talking about?
It is a two-horse town, and they lost one of the horses. It's not big. It looks like it popped up mainly to serve as a uh what's the word I'm looking for? Staging area for the docks that were recently constructed. You have to remember you are only the third wave of ships to have made it onto the island, and two of those ships are now completely gone. So for the foreseeable future, this town is probably going to stagnate. Uh, you don't expect that there will be another round of ships that crop up from Waterdeep in the next couple days. You're probably going to have to take the information they gathered and have a series of long and bureaucratically minded meetings with the Open Lord of Water. Regarding your question, Fox, you are perfectly able to find a copy of the semi-damaged map in
Ooh, that's
Captain
not a bad
Melonia's
idea,
study
Panda.
before you disembark the ship.
What do I have that I
If
can
you would
use to
like,
put on a show?
while
We have
Nelonia
dancing
is standing
lights.
there waving you off, if you would like to ask her if you could obtain copies of the maps that she maintains of Endalor, you could very easily roll a persuasion check
I
and
don't
see if she'd be willing to part with a
really
few
have
copies of the
anything
maps.
besides dancing lights that I could use.
Persuasion. All right.
Can I assist?
That's a 14.
You may assist. You want to roll again, Garth?
All right.
I might be able to do something with
14 it is.
with dancing lights.
14 it is. Very good. All right. So for 14, she takes the damaged copy of the map that you had
Maybe.
and provides you a. What was that map? That was a map of Indalore, correct? The island?
Oh,
I-
we didn't establish that. I just saw a map that I didn't recognize and
Oh,
grabbed
right.
it.
You just grabbed the map.
You didn't tell us what it was.
No, you're right. It is a map of Indalore. The copy that you had was damaged from the fire. She says that she can have it repaired or replaced, and it has enough details left on it that she'd be able to use it for her own use until she makes it back to Waterdeep, and trades you for a fresh map of Indalore. There is not a lot of detail. It is the basic outline of the area, some geological features. Uh, as you look at it, and everybody sort of gathers around to look at what you've just traded the admiral for, you notice that along the eastern shore, where New Bessem is located, there is the outpost. There is to the south a great forest, and in this forest there is a large bulbous uh, thing uh, that is marked
Your
Anansi.
expressions are priceless.
It's like, oh no, is that a cucumber? Is that a cucumber?
Who's mine?
Yes.
To the north of the settlement, along the east shore, is a mountainous region. As you look up at the mountains in the distance, as you look up and down from the map, you do notice that one of them in particular has a long stream of smoke pouring from its mouth. It doesn't appear to be uh, extremely cataclysmic, but it does look like that is an active volcano. So that's fun. Um, and then far into the distance, too far for you to see, but on the map, there appears to be one section of the map that is gray, and it is marked. Hold on, let me look at what I wrote it down as. I have it in my book. What are you called? That is called Indol, the city of Indol, the human presence and capital city of Endalor. It is sort of centrally located along a river that runs north to south. And past Indol is a moderately sized desert. And on the western edge, there are no markings because it does not seem that anybody has been through that desert yet. At least anybody who's been working on maps for Waterdeep.
Well,
Okay. Now, the map that I found on the ship and the map that Nolonia gave me are identical, right? Just
As
newer.
far as you can tell, yes.
Okay, good.
One had some smoke damage and a little bit of singeing, and the one that you got from Melonia looks to be identical. No real major differences. Just maybe one is a slightly more updated version.
Okay. Um. Well, then. Before I share the map with everybody, I assume Ishka is right there with me.
Always.
I would assume
Um.
that most of the party is sort of standing around you, watching you look at this map and pointing out different things that they see.
Oh, while we're still on the
Varsu,
ship.
well, I figured that you had taken your map out of your bag while standing at the docks with Nelonia as she passed out her gift to the party and was able to talk her into trading maps with you. Um, does that sound okay?
Okay. My original intention was to acquire a map from Nolonia and keeping the singed map, having two maps to basically cross-reference differences between. But that's fine. If they're basically similar, but one is less singed than the other, then that's fine.
You notice that the one that Nelonia gave you, the fresh one, has the name of the Anansi city, for lack of a better word, called a brood. And as you look at it, it is in a series of letters that you are having trouble discerning how to pronounce. And Varsu looks up at you and says, Anzek. Anzek is the brood home.
Hmm. Interesting brood home
And
name. Thank you.
It is to the southwest of New Bessem.
So I'll look over at Barsu and say, "Is this where you're from?"
It is, yes.
Hmm.
All Anansi are born in Broodhorn.
All right, then I will assume that while everybody is here, I will share all this information. Um, Considering that me and Varsu just had a conversation about something kind of important.
That makes Panda.
Give or
Well,
take.
that makes Panda. That makes sense, Panda. Yeah, because if I look at
So,
my
again,
camera
we
and other
have
people's
the
stream,
tavern,
like
which is
Dev's stream,
available to you at
it shows the other way
low
around
or no
from what I
cost.
see here.
The blacksmith that has equipment for those who are under the direction of Waterdeep. And then there's also the I said tavern, the bunkhouse. The bunkhouse has beds available for free, and the tavern has nicer beds available for a steeply discounted rate. Other than that, what else did I say there was? I don't know.
We got the bunkhouse, we got the tavern, we got the blacksmith.
Yes.
Where's the blacksmith?
Other than that, there is a stable, and then the very shoddily made. Imagine Pocahontas, just a bunch of trees stacked up and half buried to create a very light wall around the encampment with a gate.
Okay.
The gate is open. There doesn't seem to be a lot of uh, very hostile creatures, but there is a gate.
All right. No, like general store or anything. Just the blacksmith shop.
The blacksmith shop has a forge to one side, and the door to the shop is open, and it appears that perhaps it has dual purpose. There appears to be a general shop inside, and the armorer and weaponsmith outside.
Okay.
What would you all like to do?
I want to secure lodgings.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to do with time, or is everybody going to follow Tra to secure lodging?
I
Is
would like
important.
to strike up some conversation with some of the locals and see if I can get some information on like just passive stuff that we'd be doing, like where we could get spell components for us casters. Not like we're actually going to role play it out, but like getting to know the
Sure.
land of the caster. I
Sure. For sure.
I was kind of half-ass waiting to hear you say that you wanted to ask them about their extended warranties.
no. I will get them to sign contracts eventually, but I have to understand the area before I start conning the area. You understand?
We've been trying to reach you about your wagon's extended warranty.
I don't know that they're spiders. I don't know that they have wagons.
You
Gotta try.
can. So as you approach a group of what appears to be a mixed locals and people who seem to have come over from Waterdeep, a mix of humans and Anansi, and one strange-looking human. I wouldn't say there's anything weird about them, other than the fact that they're dressed completely differently from the people who appear to be crew or support staff for Waterdeep. This one appears to be local too. Um, so as you approach, they look up and they wave and they say, "Hello, welcome to New Bessem. What brings you guys here? I saw I saw Nelonia on deck. She seemed agitated, and everybody seemed to leave in a hurry. I thought they were supposed to wait for you guys. Did you hear anything about this? What's going on?
Yeah, you heard that big boom earlier? That was us. Don't worry about it. So, if a guy was looking for some spell components around here, what kind of flowers, what kind of plants would I be looking for stuff like that?
Boom. Okay. Who? I'm gonna have to remember to
Big bada
go talk to
boom.
the admiral. Um, the general store and blacksmith all seem to have a great collection of things. They're honestly like there's only so many people in this settlement, and they just keep dropping off shipload and shipload of stuff. So there's like, if you look behind the general store, there's like a pile of crates that just seem to be there, and they're just full of stuff. And like, you guys came over from Waterdeep, so like anything you want out of the general store is like covered. So like, if you guys just want to go look in the crates, I don't think they'll mind. Uh, have you guys met this guy? This is I have to make
This
up a
guy?
name now. Yeah, this guy. I have to make up a
Well,
name
while
now.
you make up a
Can we
name
vote
for
on it? Are
this
we voting on
guy,
the name? We voted for Wasserpot. Are we doing that or
Oh,
rolled for it?
God.
Didn't we?
Oh,
Someone,
God.
someone
For
give
it.
me some suggestions for the name of a local what did I call it? Indol citizen who is visiting because of curiosity's sake.
All right. I've got a wire out to Ferret's chat to see if we can get a name.
A normal human name from an island that has not encountered society.
Jeremy. That's my vote.
Jeremy.
ooh, I like Jeremy.
But it's
Mostly because I was
spelled
Jeremy
Bhermie.
I mean, I don't care how
Or
it's
I.
spelled.
Well, while y'all name a human, Ishka's just gonna kind of like look over at Tra and go, can you do the thing again? Are these people messed up too?
Well, I suppose it doesn't hurt to take a look. It'll take me a few minutes, of course. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Chat
I'll
says
go ahead
monkey
and
bread.
ritual a detect magic, just because.
What were you saying, Kermie?
The chat says we should name him Monkey Bread.
Monkey bread.
I think. What if that's a surname? So it's Jeremy Monkey Bread.
You know what? I like Jeremy Monkey Bread.
All right.
Okay.
Oh,
So
God.
our first our first character named in conjunction with chat. Dearest Jeremy Monkey Bread, liaison from the city of Indol to the Waterdeep encampment.
My partner says it has some Berry Blue Jeans vibes.
You know, let's just as long as dearest Jeremy Monkey Bread doesn't turn out to be a lich, we'll be just fine.
Wait a minute.
Kermie knows what I'm talking about.
Dun dun.
Yeah, but the rest of us don't.
dun. Foreshadowing.
So Barry Blue Jeans is the name from a character from the Adventure Zone podcast, and it turns out he was a lich.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, he was
Fun.
an innocuous human being from the first episode who just turned out to be story relevant later on.
Well, that's fun.
What's great is the first part of that podcast is like a pre-made module. And
Yeah, it's I can't remember what the name of the module is, but what is it?
Here They Be Gerblins
Yeah,
is what they call it in
very good.
Kaz. Yeah. But like like the character had another name in the module, I guess, and he forgot it. So on the fly, he's like, "My name is Barry Blue Jeans" or something like that. I don't remember if it was Travis naming it for Griffin or if Griffin said Barry and then later they named him Barry Blue Jeans.
I'm almost certain it was a Travis special.
Oh
Barry
yeah,
Blue
no, that
Jeans.
sounds like Travis.
So Jeremy looks over and goes, "Yes, no, I'm from Indol. I work with the court, and I speak for them as a liaison to the Waterdeep encampment. I'm just here. I have information if you need it. I have uh, a map, but it appears you guys already have a map. Um, so that's good. How are you?"
I'd like
Doing
to
great,
cross.
but I would
Yeah.
love to see a familiar face. Can you like do that weird thing you do and just look like me for a second?
Excuse me?
You know, like just look like me for a second.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I am a human? Or you're not a human. Do humans do that where you're from?
I'm gonna like
Humans who also work for Waterdeep hit you like you're insane.
So
I'm
Ishka,
gonna I'm
who's
gonna
not
I'm
a
gonna go like this
human,
up to Trot. I'm just gonna be like,
Oh, I'm in the middle of ritual casting a spell, so
yes,
all
I
of this
know.
is over my head.
10 minutes. Are you like holding his hand while you're doing this? Like giving him a nice shoulder massage?
Oh no, I'm doing detect magic, not identify.
Oh, okay.
so Ishka, who's not a human, is just gonna look over at Garg and go, "Do they do that?"
The humans that I've run into, no.
No, I don't. I didn't think so. None of them have ever done anything like that. The Anansi don't do anything. What happened to you? Who hurt you?
Oh my god.
Well, you did mention a map to change subjects. I would like to cross-reference the one you have with one we have, if that's okay.
Sure. I have it back at Indol. I don't carry my extremely heavy parchment with me everywhere I go. It was mostly just a day trip I'm here for. Uh, you guys are welcome to join me on my trip to Indol, but I won't be leaving for a day or two.
All right.
If you guys would like to meet me tomorrow at noon, we will set out. Yes? No?
I mean, at this point,
Um,
I'll look at the rest of the people standing around.
we can meet you there, but hold on for just a few more minutes. I just like to soak in the atmosphere with everyone.
And I'm just gonna give Tra that look again, like, eh?
And I would say at this point, your ritual cast completes. Roll me a perception check
Okay.
for me.
Oh. Not wonderful.
Okay.
Not
With a
wonderful.
perception of 3, you can tell that the humans in front of you do not give off any major vibes. The Anansi have all have like a lower level glow to them, but it's not extremely prevalent. You
Yeah,
look
apparently,
around and
shit.
nothing really catches your eye. There's nothing, but you do notice that the globe that you've been carrying around gives a very bright uh yellow light. So it's hyper magical, and maybe it's drowning out other signatures around you, but from what you're able to see, it doesn't seem that there are very many magical things just hanging out.
Well, I do believe we still need to secure us somewhere to spend the night. But absolutely, I mean, me personally, I would love to come and meet back up with you tomorrow. I'm sure my colleagues, if you will most likely join me.
Okay. Um, I know that the quartermaster for uh you could say camp leader. I don't think they have a specific title, but they hang at the bunkhouse. They have an office there, and that's usually where almost everybody goes first to acquire their assignment. I could put in word for you that you guys would like to accompany me to Indole. I work pretty closely with. Uh, the first name that came to my mind was Jimothy, so we're gonna go with Jimothy, the quartermaster.
Fuck yeah.
Timothy the turkey.
So Jimothy,
And
the
singular
quartermaster.
Jame is my favorite name in
What is it?
fantasy setting. Just and singular Jame.
Nice.
Jame. One Jame, a
Jame.
multiple. Jame.
Jame. Very good.
Well, sir, that would be so much appreciated. I've been at sea for much longer than my legs would like to admit, and I would just love to be able to just sit down and just rest on solid ground for a while.
That's absolutely fair. The bunkhouse is open to you.
So he might not be able to change his face, but he sure can change his voice often.
Hey, give me a break.
My first time DMing, I was like, I'm gonna give this dwarf a traditional Scottish accent, and it went from
James.
Scottish through Irish and landed somewhere around Swedish, and I was like, "Hello, thank you for coming to my shop." And I was like, "Oh God."
Big summer blowout.
Big.
Yoo-hoo!
Oh,
Oh my god.
beautiful.
I forgot.
Flavor the ale.
So it turns out I actually did write down a name that is much better than Jimothy,
Okay.
but I'm gonna leave it Jimothy.
I mean, that works for me.
You can't take
Jimothy-
Jimothy away from me. Jen
Jimothy
already took
Ardhell.
Jimothy away from me once.
Jimothy Ardhell, the female elven quartermaster.
Oh God. Yes.
Yes, and their twin brother, Giffany, or is it Giffany?
Yeah, they haven't been able to figure that out.
Elves are weird in this world. What could I say? Her original name was Leah Ardhell, but nope, she's Jimothy Ardhell, the elven quartermaster.
Yep.
And her office is in the bunkhouse, and most new recruits and fresh off the boat see her for assignments. And dearest Jeremy Monkey Bread has decided he would like to put in a good word for you with Jimothy Ardhell.
That works for me.
Okay, and I think with no other directions mentioned, the party moves towards the. Would you like paid bunks in the tavern, or would you like free bunks in the bunkhouse?
Dom and Tyler are going to walk towards the stables.
Okay.
Dom being huge, he's never going to fit in a normal sized bed. So,
That's
and
perfectly
they're
fair.
never going to let a giant wolf into the buildings. So
That's fair. That's fair.
I would like a tavern room, actually. That sounds much more accommodating.
Okay.
I am going to sleep at whoever's feet will let me in their room.
That's going to be a no from me.
I mean, you can stay with me.
So
Alright.
Cats
Ishka,
and trees.
Bread
I mean,
making.
it makes sense.
My chat would like to point out that the wolf is a service pet and should be allowed in the building.
I didn't have any particularly. I mean, there are sentient spiders walking around, so like, I don't think the no pets thing is gonna fly at this particular encampment. So it sounds to me that we have one person going to the tavern, one person going to the stables to check in, and the rest of you are sort of left standing there going, okay, what now? You can choose the tavern. It is 1 gold per night for Waterdeep employees, or the bunkhouse, which is free. The standard rate at the tavern is 10 gold a night. But you guys are good. You guys are covered by the contracts that you all signed and then deposited in a drawer for some bureaucrat to find in 5 years, going, what the hell is this?
Amount of illusory script in these contracts. Yo, I gotta tell you, I got a +5
Biddies!
to bluff, so whatever I say
Thank you
is in
so
there.
much,
Who
whoever
knows?
you are, you anonymous cheerer. You're the best.
I mean, at this
the
point,
spoopy
I'm
biddies.
just going to accept whatever you say. So get wild on it.
Oh god,
So
that's dangerous.
as the majority of take liberties, but if you ever try to fuck with something, I may call you on it.
Now, I did say at the first instance of me even bringing up a contract in my private chat with you that
Yes, I remember you saying that it
require
was
that if we are to use a battle cry in any battle after you have signed the contract, you have to shout for the contract and charge into battle. So if you're
that
going
is
to use
one of
battle cry, you are contractually obligated to say for the contract.
What if you don't?
There is a running total of breakages, minor and
it gets
majors.
added to your fee. Your fee catalog just grows and grows and grows.
Well,
Okay.
Yarg's gonna have a hefty fine to pay at the end of this because
Yes.
Rage doesn't exactly follow rules.
So if you don't use a battle cry that's coherent, you don't technically have to say for the contract. But if you're
Oh.
using words, it has to be in there.
Okay, I'm safe then. Haha, loopholes.
Wait, so it just has to be in the battle cry?
If the battle cry is worked.
Loopholes. Yes. I
So
can't
my
believe I'm
battle
doing this
cry-
for the contract is also a completely legitimate.
So my battle cry could be there's no fucking way I'm doing this for the contract.
That's correct.
But in fact, as a battle cry, you do follow it up with battle, so technically you're still doing it for the contract.
Technicalities.
Yep. Loopholes are a science that is being discovered concurrently with this adventure. The Waterdeep coffers are draining by the second.
Right into my loopholes.
So,
Anyways.
as we go, let's follow Dom as he walks Tala over to the stables while you guys figure out where you're headed towards your bunks. Let's see what Dom has to say. So you break off from the group and begin walking towards the stables. I assume trying to find somewhere to sleep where 8 foot of humanoid creature can fit. The
With a
stable,
wolf, yeah. So we can
yeah,
both sleep together.
with a wolf, correct. The stables are covered It is closer to a barn than it would be to like just an open deck. The
Okay.
stable hands look up at you and give a whistle and say, "Well, aren't you a tall drink of water?"
Oh god.
I don't know why. I
Ooh.
don't know why they said that, but okay.
I
Are
love
they
it.
Oh,
humans? Are they spiders? Are they what are they?
Uh,
What's hitting on me right now?
the stable hand who said that is actually a human. They are a uh middling in age human, male, brown hair. Um, gives you a good eyebrow, and then says, "If you're looking for a place to keep your wolf, I think we have a stall in the back that locks from the outside. Wouldn't want any horses going missing, but I assume since you walked off of a boat with her, she's pretty well behaved."
I'll just grunt and start looking around for a space, or grabbing some looking for straw maybe that I can put down and use as a bed.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you've been made aware, but the bunkhouse is right across the way there. They have beds for use. They uh not the best, but they're pretty freestanding. You might be able to push two together. I know uh you being the size you are, it might be a little bit more difficult, but I don't see why you'd need to spend your time in the barn.
I don't think Dom really has a problem with spending time in the barn, especially wanting to stay with Tala as much as possible. Um, and from where he used to live, he's not used to sleeping on fancy beds. He's not used to sleeping in places, and it's been an experience on the ship in itself. So,
That's
like,
fair.
kind of going back to more of the basic living, having been in a tribe before all of this is more of a comforting thing to Dom, and especially to Tala as well, because she's not been handling going on a ship that's then ended up in battle and being chased, etc., with loud explosions to she's not been handling it very well. So I think he just wants to kind of like lay in a corner somewhere with his wolf and
I think
like
especially as you came onto land and she was able to sort of ground herself and come to the realization that the ground is no longer moving in a super weird way,
yeah.
that she has calmed down significantly just in the 30 minutes to an hour that you've spent on land. And I think that laying down for a rest with Tala would not be out of the question.
Definitely.
So the stable hand just sort of shrugs at you and says, If that's where you're comfortable, we got room. There's not a lot of horses on this particular island, so just what we brought with us."
And I'll just nod and then turn and continue out my way and moving stuff so that it's comfortable for us both.
Okay.
Laying my pack
Before we,
down.
before we move on, one of the things that you find while you're clearing space in the back of the stables is a crate. This crate is, it looks like a lot of the other crates that are just sort of laying around town. It is sort of shoved in the back of this stable, sort of odd that it would be hidden where all the other ones are just floating around. Would that be something you'd be interested in opening, or maybe just moving out of the way?
Um, I might take a look if it's in the way. You know, if anything's like jumbling around in it or anything like that. Um, we haven't obviously gone anywhere to go and get supplies or food or anything, so might look in the crates to see if there was food for any of the animals that were in the stable. Not necessarily for myself, but maybe for Tala.
Sure. Um, it is still morning, It's only been I would say at this point about an hour into y'all hanging out. I'd say about 9 o'clock.
Okay.
But a midday rest is not out of the question at all. So as you sit down and lean up against the wall, and curiously just start picking the lid off of this crate, you see that inside of it is packed with innocuous things. Like there are, as you said, maybe a couple bags of animal feed on top. Below that, there is maybe a vial of medicine for veterinary use. And at the bottom of the crate is where things get interesting. You discover what appears to be a leather-bound tome. And on this tome is a jewel carved with a rune that you recognize. It is the giant language rune or might.
Okay. So I'll pick up this book, this tome, and take a look at it and wonder why there's giant writing on it. Why the giant language would be here of all places.
That does strike you as odd. uh, what's most interesting, especially as you pick up this tome, as you brush some of the hay and dust off the cover, as you make contact with this rune inscribed jewel, it lights up. It becomes luminescent in the dim light of this stable. And as you open the book and look inside, it appears to be something much older than you have ever seen. It is in a dialect of the language of giants that has not been used for many, many moons. And it would appear that though you can read it, it takes the form of a long running poem. And as you look at it, each page seems to be dedicated to a poem about the specific abilities of a warrior, a warrior whose blade spits magic. And as you sit and you think and you concentrate, it suddenly hits you that this type of tome might be used as a spell book.
Okay.
You have reached level 3 and you have acquired your spell book as an Eldritch Knight.
Yay.
Woo woo.
So as you update your character sheet and take your third level, I think it's 2 cantrips and 2 spell slots, and then 3 level. I can't remember exactly what it is, but if before next session you want to update your character sheet and set that up,
Okay. I
I
can do that.
can give you some out of narrative background. It was placed in this crate and hidden to be used by someone who was smuggling goods onto the island. They probably intended to sell it. It looks fancy, but you don't think someone put it there on purpose negligently.
Okay.
Um,
Is the gem
so
still glowing or is it stopped?
every time you touch it, it glows brighter, and you feel energized. It appears to be imbuing you with the power of a eldritch knight. an ancient warrior class of giants.
Okay.
Lots of fun.
Awesome.
So, as we zoom out from Dom as he lays down to comfort Tala and read through this book that he's just found, let us drop back over to the group of four standing outside of the bunkhouse and tavern. We have Ishka, Garg, Shakon, and Kermi watching Damavos go to the stables and Tra walking confidently into the tavern. What would you four like to do? Would you like to follow Tra to the tavern? Or would you like to go into the bunkhouse and speak to uh Jimothy fucking Ardell?
I think Shay would go to the tavern.
So Shay decides, fuck it, I'm gonna get a drink, and follows Tra over to the tavern.
Mm.
All right. Well, Garg will look at Ishka and go, think we should check out the blacksmith?
I mean, only if we can get a drink after.
Kitty.
Oh, of course.
Kitty.
Okay. And so Ishka and Garg head towards the blacksmith. And Kermi, that leaves you. Are you going to follow either or are you going to stand there in the street?
You said there was like barrels of stuff we could look through.
There's a obscene pile of wasted cargo that just seems to be dropped off behind the general store. More product and items than could ever be sold out of a tiny shop. It appears that someone running the books back in Waterdeep has decided to massively over prepare these shipments.
All right,
And
I'm
that's
gonna
where the
look.
blacksmith is, right?
Say
I'm
what?
gonna look for. That's where the book was.
The book was in a specific crate in the stables that seemed to have been moved away from the pile.
I'm gonna look specifically for extra rations, extra daggers, and by the grace of all that is cat, I hope I find some potions as well.
Potions are nice.
Why don't you give me a d20 roll? Just a flat d.
D20.
With a 19, you are able to acquire enough rations. It appears that like there are crates and crates of them. You don't think you're going to be searching for food. I think food is going to be just fine. There are rations for days here. What was the other request? You had rations, you had some
Extra
daggers.
daggers.
It doesn't appear that they're shipping ready-made weapons. That might be something to check the blacksmith for.
Okay.
But when it comes to potions, there is a selection of crates that have been pulled from the pile and lined up against the back of the general store
Mm-hmm.
that you notice one of them, the lid is ajar, and just so happens that there is two bottled potions, one red and one gray, sitting there. And you were told that all the crates back here were free game.
All right. I'm gonna grab the both of them. Do I know
Right.
what they are, or do I just have a red
Well,
potion or a gray potion?
you have a red potion and you have a gray potion. From your healing background and your proximity to the medical field, practically your family invented it. You can readily identify the red potion as a healing potion. I would say I can't remember if it's lesser or normal. It's for what is it? What is a
Uh,
lesser healing potion? Like 1d4 plus 4?
Let me see. Lesser potion is. Oh, that's not 5e. Ugh. Yes, lesser healing is 1d4 plus 1.
1d4 1d4 plus 1. Okay. Um that's fine. I'd say for a 19, that's what you're able to acquire. You also see that in one of these boxes that you kick over, there is a leather cuirass, just a piece of armor that you can pick up either for yourself or others. It doesn't seem to be particularly fancy, but it is there for the taking.
Is it leather carafe?
Cuirass, like a leather breastplate, leather.
I've
What
always
is the word
pronounced
I'm
that
looking for?
curious.
Curious. A leather jerkin, perhaps.
You found a shirt.
Yeah, you found a leather
Yay.
shirt. It's
And
fancy.
it's made of hide. You found a shirt and it's made of hide.
Okay.
Right.
Very good. So Kermie has found some fun stuff. Uh, I know we do have at least one party member with the identify spell, so keep that in mind.
Yep.
Um, Kermie, as you find fancy things and your cat instincts are revving in third gear, you feel vindicated in your family's mission, and you are now level 3.
I'm
Yeah.
not showing anything off. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So we zoom away from Kermie as he rummages. We now have Ishka, Garg, and you two are going to the blacksmith. And Shay and Tra are going to the tavern. Let's follow Shay and Tra as you two enter to the raucous sounds of sailors drinking. Um, it becomes readily available that the uh, proprietor of this bar has uh, too much ale and not enough brains to slow anybody down. It is a free for all. You see a harried woman working the bar, two servers constantly running drinks, and a man sitting on a stool with a desperate look on his face. And then just a throng of seamen, sailors, boat dudes. Don't give me that look. Boat dudes hanging
That's what
around.
I'm laughing at.
What would you like to do? It would appear as though the man on the stool with the exacerbated look on his face is next to what could be considered a primitive cash register, while the woman behind the bar serves drinks and the runners run drinks out to table. The predominant sound that you both hear is the retelling and gradually the complexion of the story increases. The story of how the Grand Ranger was attacked by a boat filled with bloodthirsty pirates, and how a kraken destroyed the Wasserpot, and it just gets more and more wild as the drink gets poured on. You do, however, hear one person talking about this fire lady that fell from the sky to cause the destruction of the Wasserpot.
Oh, so you fell from the sky, did you?
Apparently.
What would you like to do, Tra and Shay?
Try not to laugh at him.
Han!
I mean, I'm really just here to try and get a hold of some private lodgings. See if they've got some maybe smaller private rooms.
So, as you enter the tavern and make your way towards what you judge to be the proprietor, uh, he informs you that he has singles. Excuse me. He has singles rooms available. He wanted to know if you work with the Waterdeep Enclave, and he nods and says, "You do have that sort of look to you." And says that for private lodgings, single bed, we're looking at 1 gold for someone as discerning as yourself.
I will slide a gold across, or set a gold on the table.
Is
Thank
that
you
just for
so
tonight,
much.
then?
We're gonna have to play this by ear. I'm not sure exactly how long we're gonna be in town.
Fair enough. 1 night, 1 room, single bed. Food and drink are available up until about midnight when everybody passes the fuck out. If you want to work, I have room. Please come work. Work the bar for God's sake, man.
Oh, no thank you, dear. I really need to get some rest. It's been a very long journey.
Okay, so you are waved on your way towards your single bedroom. It's on the second floor of the tavern. You're surprised at how well the acoustics of the main hall are. As soon as you reach the crest of the stairs, things dim down nicely, and you think that the private tag on this particular room is well worth the 1 gold you spent. Um, Shay, what about you? What are you?
I am also going to inquire about a room.
Single or double, dear?
Single, please.
Single, okay. Just like I told your friend there, it's 1 gold.
I will slide a gold across the table.
Okay, very good. Like I told your friend, if you're looking to be earning this gold back, please come, for God's sake, run a couple drinks for me.
I can do that. Why not?
Couple of spicy drinks coming right up.
Some spicy drinks coming right up for y'all.
So as Shay takes up the offer from the barkeeper and proprietor, she works for about an hour and earns her gold back. Trog, you head up to your room and unpack, I assume. Get comfy.
Yeah, I will have a priority of identifying that orb.
Okay. I think the identify is 10 minutes, correct?
Yeah, 11 with ritual.
That's fine. You take some time and do that. We will come back to that. Shay,
Roger.
you're having fun passing drinks about, regaling people of your version of the uh, fire angel from the sky tale. and we will join you back in just a moment. We will zoom out of the tavern to Ishka and Garg, who would like to go to the blacksmith. Are you heading into the general store, or are you heading to the blacksmith who's plinking away on a large breastplate outside?
I'm just along for the ride.
Beautiful.
Well, I guess we'll go straight up to the blacksmith.
Okay.
Ishka just wants a drink. I mean, she's gonna follow
Gotta go to
Garg
the
wherever
tavern.
Garg goes, but
Okay. So as you approach, the blacksmith
Sammy?
looks up from his work and
Sammy,
greets you too.
I
And
know where you
says,
live.
so if you're looking for something fancy,
I
I've
know
got some
exactly
stuff
where
in the
you
shop
live.
that might be
And
interesting.
I'm pretty sure
you
if
have
I
any
ask
custom
nicely,
orders, I can
actually,
do that.
I could just walk right in the door.
Right now, I'm working on a piece. It
gonna
might be a
get
couple
ya.
hours before I can get onto yours. But what can I do for you?
Oh, you mentioned a few interesting pieces you got. So, aside from the ordinary standard fare, what have you got available?
Well, for Waterdeep employees, we have a great array of many standard weaponry. We have longbows, short bows,
You better listen to your
crossbows,
mother, Sammy.
arrows,
You better listen to
sword,
mommy.
shields, daggers,
I'm
javelins.
gonna
We
get
have
you.
for you. Um, Inside the shop is
Oh.
things that I don't
Oh,
really want to
really?
give
Okay,
away
Sammy.
to employees.
All right.
This would be the stuff that
I'm on my way.
Coin might be involved with.
I'm coming. Give me a second.
What are you looking for?
I'll be right there.
Ah, now we're speaking the same language. What are we talking about here?
Well, out of character, what are you looking to acquire?
I'm just looking to see if there's anything that would be considered an upgrade. Maybe
Right now, you have a what is it?
a
A
great
great
club.
axe, great
A
club.
great club. That's it.
What is that? 1d10,
Great club is 1d8 plus 3
1d8.
for damage.
So inside the shop, he has, and he leads you inside. He seems to be the proprietor of both
Drink water.
businesses.
I don't wanna. I wanna drink Dr. Pepper. And Ishka wants a fucking drink.
He seems to be the proprietor of both businesses, and he takes you inside the shop and shows you a maul, a large steel box on a stick, and it's heavy and it is spiked on one end, and it looks fancy. This is something that he expects, I would say 50 gold for. It's a little better than what you have, but I don't think that it would be considered magical or anything fancy.
Oh,
It is just a big
beautiful.
ass stick. You said what
I
was your great
I
club?
came back this time. As long as you listen to
Great
Mom, I
Club is
won't come get
1d8.
you.
I would say this one is 1d10.
Gotta listen to
And
your mom.
on a 20, it would cause a knockover, a knockback. Basically, on a d20, they'd become prone
Hmm.
after a DC 13 strength save. Would that be something you'd be willing to buy, young man?
Over the table, interesting, but not for the future of my character, if you remember.
I do. This was the first item that I came up with off the top of my head.
Okay.
So you've got
for sure.
You've got your great
That
club.
was
You've got your
chef's
armor.
kiss.
You look well outfitted, honestly, for a new recruit. Might I offer you something interesting?
Oh, interesting. How?
Let me take you to the back of the shop. Um, he drags you practically. This man is. I'm playing him sort of like a dwarf. I guess he is a dwarven blacksmith, a little tall for a normal dwarf, stout, excitable, and he seems to take great joy in making things. So this dwarf, about half your size, drags you to the back of the shop heartily, and he shows you something that catches your eye almost instantly.
Ooh. What is it?
It is an ivory statuette of a bear.
Interesting. Hey, what's this?
It's
This
a
is
bear.
something. What?
It's a bear.
It's a bear. This is something that I found out in the woods on my very first day. Something old. Something fancy.
As long as you continue to listen to your moms, I will put the plastic bag
I
back
see
on.
it's caught your eye. I don't really have a price in mind for this. What do you think it might be worth to you, traveler?
Yes, the lunch lady look. The chat greatly enjoys this one. As well, really just teases kids. All of Tease's kids have a great fondness for this particular hat.
Well, I don't know. Let me look it over real quick.
Fine, but be careful. It's ivory. It may be bone, but it is still fragile.
Of
So
course.
he hands over
It's
the.
decidedly not.
Maybe he's look because reasons. All right, he can say whatever he wants.
It's an ancient piece of ivory that he found in the woods.
He doesn't. Yeah, he may not actually know anything about it other than like whatever he did to it.
Right.
He's an excitable little dwarf. Maybe he just doesn't want you to run off it.
Maybe.
I mean, he did
just-
walk in with
Stand up
somebody
to the
branded a pirate.
There.
Kirby's bullshit is so on point. I wish I was there so that I could just like be like, nah, it's not magical, and then just roll bluff. Just to be like, we'll give you two times for it. Take 2 silver. There you go. We'll be taking this obvious like bear summoning totem, or like you eat it and you become a bear, or I don't know how by the book the magic items are, but like
Well, on that note, right? Garg, you pick up this totem, and something deep inside you reacts. Something primal.
Lust.
Yes. Yes. What?
Damn it, ferret.
What are you sting about?
Are we taking this somewhere, sir?
How about you and that bear totem go get a room?
I just
they're only 1 gold.
want to state I didn't do it this time.
Got some primal just to you.
There is a magnetism between the charm you wear around your neck and this bear totem.
So you're just the third wheel.
Oh snap! They just brought you along because you've got the car.
I'm so sorry.
By car, I mean legs.
I'm sorry, Fox. I'll stop.
Sure, legs. That's what we're talking about here. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, we'll go with
You
that.
feel a
Okay.
deep primal magic about this barbecue totem. Nothing
Oh my
lights up,
god.
nothing fancy happens, but you know in your
Oh, that's
soul
beautiful.
that you have to have this.
Oh god.
And this dwarf, God bless him, he doesn't notice. He's just there trying to make a buck. But he sees your interest and says, okay. So, like, I was hoping to get something for it, but it is just a trinket. How about 5 gold?
Mm, 5 gold, you say?
Can Ishka just roll up her sleeves a little more, just very deliberately? I'm counting on that bad reputation. I can't help it.
He glances over the shoulder, well, I guess around the shoulder at you. You know, there's just another person in his shop while he's dealing with a customer, and he sees you, and he sees your mark, and he gulps,
And
and he
Ishka's
goes,
just gonna kind of run up and kind of like link arms with Garg.
"Ugh,
Oh god.
Oh my god.
is this young lady with you, good sir?"
Maybe
Hey, yes,
he's with
he is.
me.
Well. Um, you know,
You broke him. Great.
That's nothing
as
abnormal.
as a token of good faith to the young lady, go ahead and take it, and we'll call it even.
Very
So-
nice.
Oh god.
A couple of just like pink flower petals are just gonna fall out of Ishka's hat. She's just gonna take a piece of cheese and leave it on the counter and go, "Thank you," and skip out.
Oh my god.
The dwarf
Beautiful.
looks at the cheese and sighs, and he takes a nibble and goes back to work.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
So mechanically, that is your 3rd level fox. You are now level 3, and you
Awesome.
have now acquired the totem of the bear. You are now a barbarian, barbarian.
Haha.
Ah.
Oh, bear.
But I need a
I
swear,
I
hotkey for
don't know
that.
him.
I need a hotkey that just goes but
Yep, but
Don't know, and that wasn't the story I got when I was there. Just saying.
What, that I don't know him?
Uh-huh.
I have questions, but none of them are appropriate.
Anyway,
I have questions about your questions.
so I'm going
So-
to assume
Anyway,
I'm
I
going to
have
assume that
answers.
Ishka is basically dragging me out of the blacksmiths now.
No, I just skipped out. I got what I wanted. I just skipped out.
So you're standing there just gazing upon your totem and the might you feel in knowing that something deep and mystical has occurred. And this dwarf is just standing there nibbling on a piece of cheese and goes, "Well, is there anything else I can get for you, or are you going to continue to strong on me into free product?"
Well, then I will just tip my hat and make my way out.
Bloody pirates.
fucking beautiful.
He's so lucky Ishka couldn't hear that. Because we wouldn't be the only bloody thing in there.
Fair enough. That's why he waited till you were gone.
Smart.
Ishka, as you leave the blacksmith with your sleeves rolled up, feeling your pirate game, You walk out into the street. You have your pirate's mark proudly displayed. People around you look and they glare, and for the life of you, it feels good because you know what this mark signifies and you know what used to be in its place. And you level up to level 3, and you are taking the swashbuckler subclass. You are leaning hard into that pirate persona, and it shows as you walk confidently down the street.
Yar.
Well, if you can't be good at it.
Yardy har har. And a bottle
So
of gin.
let's return to you know what? Let's zoom out because there's one person who's not here who I've spoken to, and for the life of you, you all can't remember Varsu leaving the ship. She wasn't with you. Varsu sits in the crow's nest of the Grand Ranger
Good night,
and
Panda.
is nursing
You go enjoy your snuggles. You have
Kelvu,
a
her bird,
fantastic night. It was a
back
pleasure
to
having you
health,
with us.
given that he suffered an arrow wound.
Bye-bye.
And it's a tender scene between the both of them.
Scully
And
here. Hopes you have a good night as well.
What you notice as you look upon through this third eye experience is that there is surrounding her what could only be described as a trail of spiders. And they seem to congregate around her in a way that is not too dissimilar
The
from
slime trail
how
from the
she
slug?
grew up.
Oh, okay.
Crowding around the Broodmother, a 20-foot tall, massive spider who is mother to all of her species, at least in this brood. And as you look upon this, it's almost a mirror image, or rather a microcosm. And effectively, Varsu levels up to level 3 and takes the subclass Swarm Keeper.
Ooh.
And she will be able to give you more backstory and more fun stuff. I will talk to her about it, but mechanically she's level 3 and she is a Swarm Keeper.
Very spoopy.
Nice.
So we will come back to our player characters this evening. And I'd like to drop off the camera at Dearest Tra, who is gazing into his crystal ball. You have effectively cast the Identify spell, and I wish I had a card or a text to send you, but this is actually a homebrew item that you helped me create.
I think
This
I know
is
exactly what
Black
it is.
Glow.
Look at us. Like, yes.
If anybody wants to look it up, this is a
Yeah,
homebrew version of the Drift Globe, which, if anybody has played Skyrim, they know the candlelight spell, where you just make a little light that follows you around. That's what this item does. But the homebrew portion of this is that this item acts as a flashbang. Once per long rest, you can direct the cube or direct the sphere to perform the what spell is it? The flash spell, or like I think it's there's a spell in blinding. I can't remember what.
Yeah,
it
I can't
is.
remember which spell we had
Flip.
used.
But it is maybe daylight. It's a DC 13 Constitution saving throw, or be blinded for like 3 minutes or a minute or something like that. But it is a once a day blinding orb. And then otherwise, the way a drift globe works normally is you speak its passphrase and it follows you around, providing the daylight spell.
Yes, or light, depending on which one you choose, because it could do either. The base one can anyway.
Yes, you can choose the light spell or the daylight spell, depending upon your situation. I will rule that you have to choose at the beginning of the day. You can't switch it back and forth.
Perfect.
And then that is for everybody in the party's use. But Traw's the one who picked it up. So Traw, what is the password gonna be for your flashbang?
Ooh.
You get to choose.
Aziz, light.
Ooh.
Some fifth element into this.
Fuck.
You don't have to choose now if you'd like to surprise us
Interesting
later.
passcode.
I think I know. I think I know what it's gonna be, but I need to look. Yeah, go ahead and continue. But I have a couple ideas.
Okay. Okay, so we will zoom back downstairs to Shay, who is regaling her patrons with the
Dolce.
story of how she single-handedly blew up a ship filled with pirates. And you are repaid your gold in time, and to the relief of the proprietor and the barmaid, the extra time you spend to help out has been just enough to get the raucous line of customers in the bar to clear out,
You know
and
what?
things have calmed down significantly.
We have
You are
request for
able to
oops.
rest now and continue on with what you'd like to do.
Let's
Is there
see.
anything you'd like to do? Go up to your room or head back outside? What would you like to do after spending about an hour as an impromptu barmaid and gaining a fair few affections
I
of
would
some drunken
probably
sailors?
until I set them all on fire. I would probably go up to my room
Okay.
after doing all that work and all
I
that energy
have
spent.
an
I need to
idea.
just sit down
Let's
for a few minutes
do.
in the quiet space.
So
Oh,
you
where's
go
that button?
and you go up to your room and you dump out your pack, and there it is. Your coup de grace, your magnum opus, your gauntlets. You've been working on them for months. You've been working on them for weeks.
Yeah, I know what the passphrase is gonna be.
This is
I know what the command
the
word's gonna be.
project you've poured every gold piece you found yourself
I know exactly what it's
into.
gonna be.
It is the dream you've harbored for so long is to take these gauntlets and just fucking do something with them. You've tried adding
Oh yeah.
bits and bobs. You've tried adding a bolt launcher. You've tried adding a magical spell component. You've tried everything. And it's just come down to the more you add, the more it just seems like you're getting away from the heart of the project. Why don't you give me a tinkering check, which is a d20 plus intelligence,
It's gonna be
to
Dolce.
see if maybe the change in location will spark some inspiration in you.
Alright. There's D20. Ugh. And my intelligence is a +3. Oh, stop that. Don't do that. Don't do that. D&D Beyond's being wonky with me.
So
Did
you
that
have
go
a
through,
9
or did mine
total.
freeze up?
You have
E
a
count.
a d20
Knock me out with them
rolled a
push-ups.
6
Gotcha.
plus
I got
3.
you.
Okay, it did go.
So you begin to pull your tools free, and you work on this gauntlet. And I don't know if your hand slips. I don't know if it's fate. But you slip. And the conduit that your screwdriver
Boom.
pierces
Dunskies.
was part of an upgrade that you had
How you
by
doing, man?
chance just thrown
How you
on
been, Gal?
there. And this capsule of... I'm trying to think of a creature. Let's call it rock bladder. You pierce it, and you receive a blistering shock. You are electrocuted,
Slow at work.
and
Okay.
something
I mean, that could be
just
good.
changes. All of a sudden, your mind is clear. Your vision is crystal clear, and you know exactly what to do with these.
All right.
And effectively, you have now become level 3, and you have become the armor smith subclass of artificer.
For those of you wondering why I still swap
And you
hats,
have
even
some
though she
stuff
doesn't
that you
specify,
plan on doing,
because I know exactly which hat she wants.
which is fun.
She always wants the same hat.
Do you want to explain a little bit
So
about
funny
how
to do
that's
that.
going to work?
Every time. So I don't even bother asking.
Well, okay. Basically, she uses thunder gauntlets and she fights with her fists. She actually doesn't have a weapon. Her actual like artificer thing is her gauntlet, so I don't have to hold anything. I don't have to keep track of anything. They're just my gauntlets. I am brewing some special names for some of the spells I have. Not changing anything about them, just changing names and visual effects and stuff to match the thunder
Reskinning
gauntlets.
is
Like for
beautiful and
instance,
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, I basically reskinned Expeditious Retreat. That's one of the ones that I actually have done. And instead of using it to retreat, I'm going to use that to kind of just rush at somebody. And it's going to cause like a rush of air going into that area and then poofing outwards and causing a thunderclap sound. So I'm basically just reskinning abilities like that. Yeah, she's definitely going to be an upfront fighter. So
you might change that from Expeditious Retreat to Sonic Boom.
I mean, I could go back.
I'm a rogue's worst nightmare with this setup I've got building up.
But I feel like ultimately that's Lady's decision. If I do, I will refund the hat swap request.
What am I gonna do?
What's that?
So, I think mechanically,
taking turns.
you
Okay.
have chosen
Fair
to
enough.
take,
Fair
for the
enough.
most part, the Guardian armor build.
Yes, it is Lady's turn.
Which allows you to do the light. Is it the Guardian or the other one that allows you to do lightning stuff? I can't remember.
I think it's the one that does lightning stuff. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head.
There's one that's heavy armor and there's one that's light armor, but I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah, it would be the heavy armor because she's a frontline fighter.
Well, I
So
think
it would
that's
be
the
heavy armor.
Guardian. Yeah. So you tinker, and you spend. I would say you spend the next 2 hours just playing with the goddamn thing, and you strip away all the unnecessary. Sculptor and his block of marble. You can see the pristine form inside, and all you have to do is strip away the inane shit. So you go through and you pare down and you remove things that may have been good ideas, but are not this idea. And finally, you are left with your gauntlets. And you equip them, you put them on, and it just feels right. And in that moment, you unlock your magic, and your armor conforms to your body. And just from these gauntlets, they transfer down your arms and onto your shoulders, and you become fully armored, head to toe, every inch of skin, in gleaming, metallic, electrified armor. You are Iron Man, and it is fucking sick.
Yes!
Awesome.
That's what I was going for.
BEA.
The armor smith
beautiful.
artificer is badass.
Oh yeah.
So I think,
I wanted it.
short of one person, we have covered everybody's level. Let's zoom into Tra, who is busy playing with his ball.
Giggity.
Tra, earlier this week, you did something important. Important to you and important for balance. You did what was right. And in his name, you are granted a boon.
Uh huh.
We shall discuss later, but you are level 3.
Yay!
Y'all, I swear to God, it's Ellie all over again, and I didn't do it this time.
I'm not
Mysterious
doing
people
anything
granting
fancy.
boons.
I'm not doing anything
It's
fancy.
look. It's only mysterious to you, lady. Well, and everyone else that's not me and Neil. But like, I know exactly who it
Okay.
is.
So I said he was Ellie, not you were people.
That's fine. It may seem like special treatment now, but it's only because of one very special character conceit, and nothing outside of the gamified rules of D&D is happening. Everything is happening mechanically as it should. So, no fears for special treatment. It's just secret because bleh.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, is there anything else anybody else would like to do with your free time? Because not long from now, a messenger is sent to each and every one of you, and your presence is requested by Jimothy Ardhell, quartermaster.
I will never not get a kick out of that.
At some point, I'd like to head over to the blacksmith to see if there's any better equipment or gear that I could get.
Sure.
Obviously, before we have to head out or go anywhere, I'd like to at least run
So-
over there and check.
After sitting with Tala and taking some time to look at the spell book and feeling certain in your soul
Let's go ahead and
something
start doing some
is
of
calling
this
you,
level up stuff.
something magical, something ancient, and it reminds you of the prophecy that your sister, cousin, the woman who left your tribe, the prophet, she spoke of this, of something magic, something interesting. And you feel that this might have something to do with that. This book, this world, this trajectory of the spheres. And then you think, well, if I'm gonna do fancy shit, I'm gonna need a better bonking stick. Remind me what weapon you currently use.
Bonk.
I have a battle axe.
Battle axe, 1d6 or 2d6 two-handed, right?
Okay, cool. All right, so let's go
1d8
ahead.
one-handed.
Let's take a look at level up options
look
here. I
Yeah.
kind of already know
1d8 or
one
1d10,
of the things I want.
Two-handed. Okay.
Yes.
So the you go over to the blacksmith shop and you approach. I did not give the dwarf a name. Do we want to come up with a fancy name for our fanciful little lad?
I definitely want this spell.
Anybody have any suggestions for a very excitable dwarf?
Barrel.
So my brother plays a dwarf who is a smith in my other game. So
You're muted.
if you want to name him Kildrak, it would be a real
Ooh.
nice tie-in to a different game.
Kildrak.
This is actually a really good
Kildrak
idea.
is like a good last name. Can
I
we
like
come
that.
up with
Okay,
a funny
so
first
prepared
name?
spells.
I heard Daryl.
No.
Daryl Kildrak.
No, it was barrel, as in a barrel of monkeys.
Barrel Kildrak. Does anybody have any
No, I want
issues with Barrel Kildrak?
No, that makes
spell
that's good.
book. We want to unprepare comprehend languages because we can ritual cast that.
All right.
And we want to
So
prepare
you walk up to
Dragon's Breath and
this
Shadow
very
Blade.
excitable dwarf who has left his general store and has
And we
started
don't get any new
working on his
until
breastplate
level 4
again.
when we get our ASI.
Barrel, Byril, Kildrak, I assume Kildrak.
That is correct.
I guessed.
Good guess.
Yeah. Orvin Smith. Okay. And he looks up at you. All the way up at you. And he says, "Oh, okay. This I can work with." So you have very large axe. It's good axe. I like it. But I have sword and shield. Now I know what you're thinking, right? Sword and shield is for little men. There's no, but I think what I am thinking for you, my friend, is you are quicker than you look. Could
I don't-
perhaps.
I'm looking. I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty quick. Just checking my stats. Yeah, I could go with it.
Your dex is decent. You're much stronger than you are dexterous, but he offers you the hilt of a blade that to a man would be obscenely large. One might consider it what is the word? A Zweihander, a flambard, the long wavy knife. But to you, it is a long sword. And he hands you a shield that is almost too large for him to wield. One might consider it a tower shield.
Oh god.
But in your hands, it is a fairly balanced square shield. And he says, "Now listen, I know you like to swing heavy things, but that sword will take a man clean in half, and that shield is going to be very good for you. I swear it. Now I know you guys came in with the water deep today. Take it. It's on me. Just tell that girl to stay out of my shop. You're
Yeah, Ishka.
big. You'll get across to her. Just tell her to stay out of my shop."
Good
You-
luck. I give
you-
the dog cheese.
You've been 86'd.
Been banned from the store already. That's great.
Bad reputation.
Damn pirates.
So
At least
I
it's
do
not
not have
fucking magic.
I do not have the stats for those weapons built out yet, but I will build them and then send them to you, or build
Okay.
them on your character and just update your character sheet with them.
Okay.
Effectively, the sword is one-handed, plus I guess your strength modifier.
Okay.
And the shield gives you +1 to AC when you're wielding it, and it also gives you the shield bash action, where you'll be able to
Okay.
hit some with them and knock them back 5 feet.
Damn.
Like the same what my paladin does a lot.
Correct.
Yeah. Hopefully I can hit something with my sword then.
Because he didn't ask for any money, you don't have to trade out your battle axe, so you'll still
Okay.
have it.
Yeah.
But I think the sword is going to be a little quicker, and I think because you can put your shield on and off in between turns, like you can
Yeah.
don it at the beginning of your turn, you'll still have your open hand for magic as an
Okay.
Eldritch Knight. So I figured a one-handed main weapon would be better for you.
Yeah.
So that's my
Okay.
side to drop your stuff. But most of what these guys are giving you is just straight up provided by the immensely deep pockets that Waterdeep has given to these people. It's not going to be perfect, super awesome gear, but it is going to be
Hmm?
Is he cutting out for you guys too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just lost
Yes.
audio on Neil.
Is that
I
better?
mean,
Yeah,
not for
There we
me,
go.
but he's sitting there, so.
My headphones came unplugged.
That happens.
What was the last thing? I
Oops.
think I saw it cut out somewhere at the end of that last sentence. Um, I can't remember what I was saying. Something along the lines of they're not going to give you super OP gear, but it will at least be slightly different from your starting gear so that you have some options. You know,
That's fair. Shay
even
would actually
though,
like to go get some heavy armor.
well, here's the thing, right? Your gauntlets
Mhm.
provide you with a full set of heavy armor. I think it
That's true, they do.
outlines it in the Guardian section of the Artificer class. I don't exactly know what stats it gives you, but it acts as a full set of plate armor, which I think is +2 to
Okay.
AC. If we can go over that later and confirm. I don't know what you were wearing beforehand, just like traveler's clothes or whatever.
Scale mail.
Scale mail, which is what, light
Well,
armor?
my armor is scale, yeah. Yeah, it's medium armor.
Yeah, so it basically ups you from medium to heavy armor just by the nature of having your gauntlets on, because they're fucking fancy as hell.
I'm spiffy.
Thank you for that, DM. That is going to help out. If nobody else wants to take a look at anything else, you are all going to be summoned to the desk of Jimothy Ardhell.
Jimothy.
Jimothy.
Have you guys met my assistant, James?
and singular Jame.
And
Jane
singular
or
Jane.
Oh, nobody has anything else they want to do in the interim?
No, I'm good.
Or are we all just going? Okay.
Does Traw still have the identity? I mean, it's probably a little late for it, but I do have a potion that needs identified.
How long does Identify last when cast as a ritual?
It's
Only 11.
yeah, it's just on a single target. So it's an
Okay.
instantaneous effect on whatever you cast it on. But I mean, I can ritual cast it as many times as I want, as long as I have time.
So you are sent a messenger, and it says, report to J. Ardell, quartermaster bunkhouse in 30 minutes. And I assume each of you goes, okay, and starts heading that direction. And I believe that leaves you with a good 20-ish minutes of standing in and outside the bunkhouse. If, Kermie, you would like to approach Tra, as everybody seems to congregate outside the bunkhouse.
Tra, can I speak to you for a moment?
I suppose. What can I do for you?
I need you to do that weird human thing and tell me what this is.
Excuse me.
Or is that like, did you learn that somewhere?
Yeah, I put a lot of effort into learning the magic that I have.
Oh, I
But
thought maybe, like my people, we can like bounce really fast. What do humans do?
oh, we're terribly boring people.
I gotta tell you though, you got some warm beds.
I mean, that is fair, though some warmer than others. Now you said you needed something identified.
Yep. I have no idea what this jar is.
All right, this is gonna take a little bit of time, but I think we should be able to make it to our engagement, even with me doing this for you. So let's go right ahead.
So Traw holds this vial up to his face and just is like spinning it, staring into its depths. And everybody else is making their way towards the bunkhouse. Is there anything anybody else would like to say or do watching this wild exchange of cultural information? Yes, no, maybe so.
No. I mean, if I even notice it, I'll be like, okay then.
I mean, Ishika's gonna pout a little bit that the humans get to have warm beds, but he's been sleeping with me.
I imagine that I just have like a soft spot for humans and I am fascinated by them, but I know nothing, absolutely nothing about them. Just completely and utterly fascinated and completely and utterly in the dark.
That's beautiful.
I thought Kermie slept with Shay.
Shay in the
To warm
ship,
his lap.
Ishka in the town.
I think the
Okay.
nature of Tabaxi is that they are fascinated, if not slightly perturbed by humans and other humanoid creatures. They find them endlessly fascinating, if yet trifling.
Yeah, my attention span is that of a literal house cat. Which means as soon as everything is off the shelf, I have found something else to be attentive to.
That's fair.
So, as everybody sort of shuffles their way over, Dom, you notice as you walk over from the blacksmith holding your fancy new armor and weapons, you notice Tala has decided to slink from the barn and come to you. She enjoys the hay, but it is still morning, and I think that she would rather be near you versus being alone. So she's back with you.
Okay.
And as the time ticks down, Tra finishes the identify spell. And this gray, silky potion is a potion of what is it? Climbing? Spider climb?
Ooh.
It
Yeah,
it
push the
gives
spider
you
climb.
climbing at your walking speed.
And I believe with the spell Spider Climb, if this is like the spell Spider Climb, you can also have your hands free while climbing.
Yes,
So you
you
sort
can
of like
literally
walk.
just fucking walk up a wall. Yes.
I'm going to look at it and look at the squishy Tra and say,
Yeah, I think my job would be easier if you kept this one.
Well, that's mighty generous of you.
Just don't get shot by a cannon again.
I can handle myself.
All right. So
Can Ishka hear that?
I assume so. I assume as the time ticks down, everybody has the ability to sort of shuffle up at their leisure. Uh, you were following Garg, and Garg said that he was in the area, so I would assume you're there.
In in that case, Ishka's just gonna roll her eyes and just be like, "You can handle yourself. That's why you ran away."
Dear, who's the reason why that ship went under?
Sounds like a lot of luck to me.
I can always
Man,
do it
there's
again.
more birds flying back and forth here than when I slept on Jay's lap.
Nice.
Spicy.
Ahem.
As
Comes
Shay
the
walks
Supak
up
fight.
and hears Kermie throw that rather interesting compliment, I assume that the ends of her hair just sort of lift up a little bit, as if a heated updraft just sort of entered the area.
Uh-huh.
And
I am a walking heater.
the assistant to Jimothy Ardell, this man, a short, snivelly looking fellow named James, begs you enter the office of his quartermaster. And I assume all of you enter.
I don't have a reason not to. Yet.
Yet.
If that's where we're
come
all
along.
headed, then.
Come along, everybody inside. Jimothy wants to speak with you. Yes, I know. My name is James. Just the one. Just the one.
So, I mean, Ishka's gonna go just simply because he has a funny name and just little flower petals as she walks. Just. Do-do-do-do-do.
Just the one. So good. Oh.
So, as James begs you enter a room nearly identical to the shack you entered on the docks in Waterdeep, which is the briefing room from the movie Avatar, with one desk at the front and a set of chairs leading back. And Jimothy, a tall, lithe, beautiful elven woman. Some of you with more Fey ancestry might call this woman a high elf. Uh, she sits at the desk working on paperwork, and for the life of you, you cannot understand why her name is Jimothy, but here we are.
Thanks, I hate it.
Thanks. She hates it too.
No, not that. She's a high elf.
Yeah, fair enough. Um, she bears the scars of a long military career, and you feel as though maybe she's not as persnickety as some of her brethren might be. Um, she sits at her desk filling out paperwork, and as you all enter and have your seats, she looks up at you and says, okay. First off, yes, my name is Jimothy. I hate it just as much as you do, but fucking here we are. I've been with the Waterdeep Navy for longer than most of you've been alive. I've seen more action than each of you will ever see in all of your pathetic lifetimes, and I am here to get shit done. Any questions?
Have you ever heard the phrase, you can catch more flies with honey than water?
I mean, it's pretty bad when even I agree with that one.
Okay. So we have a clown in the class today.
Oh, darling, you
Okay.
wish I would perform for you.
Oh.
She looks at you for a moment, and she, I don't know. Let's give me a charisma check. Give me a persuasion or some charisma something or another.
Yeah, we're gonna go with persuasion.
Yeah.
All right, not horrible, but it's definitely better than some of my rolls tonight. 16.
16. She eyes you up and down with one eyebrow raised. She smirks and says, "Duly noted." Takes a deep breath, stands from her desk, and says, "Okay, enough clowning around. We are here for one reason. And that is, fuck if I could tell you. I don't know. But our people are being killed.
The I don't even know
Our
what biking
I
means,
don't
but
know
okay.
what happened. I got a summary report of the action that occurred on the way here. That just adds more
Oh,
questions to the
all
whole
right.
goddamn pack.
I mean, no, but all right.
People are dying. The kingdom of Indol,
For
the
those
human
wondering,
settlement at the
Tra
center of this
is
island, has been
decidedly ace.
dealing with misfortune after misfortune. And this all came to our attention at Waterdeep through some rather miraculous means. Apparently, Open Lord Yalbuck
Oh God.
received a missive from an intermediary, received a report of a prophecy, and it all comes down to supposedly something nasty is brewing on this island that, as a career sailor, have never seen nor heard tale of. And Waterdeep is throwing every goddamn available body at this problem. Uh, I honestly have no idea what to tell you other than find someone to guide you to Indol. I think there was a man fucking, his name was something stupid. Jeremy? Follow Jeremy to Indol and speak with the king. Find out as much as you can. Find a runner and have them bring that information back to me. And we shall see what can be done about this darkness. If you guys catch any wind of a prophecy from the Northlands, if you guys catch any whiff of some evil plot, please bring it to my attention because I'm at a loss here. I think your next step is going to be heading towards Indol, and by God, man, I just need the help. I just need people to be looking because at this point, it is exceedingly difficult to do my job with no goddamn information. Any questions at all? I'm doing my best here. They basically set me up with a desk job, pulled me off my ship, and said, "Go do it." So here I am doing it.
Well, lucky for you, we, at least as far as I have seen the abilities of these individuals, we're a little more than just warm bodies looking around.
Good God, I hope so.
I do want to stress we are, well, some of us, very warm.
I'm very happy for you, Cat.
Over the table, that the guy Jeremy, was it, that we were gonna follow to Indal? So we already got that squared off, right?
Yes, he
Okay.
gave her a report saying that he'd be leaving back to Indal earlier. He will be leaving tomorrow around noon, and that he had come across a group of particularly interesting looking adventurers who he thinks might make good road guards. So she has decided to task you with the protection of the liaison, Jeremy, and you will be leaving tomorrow at noon to protect Jeremy, the human bureaucrat. Level 1. Extremely squishy. Congratulations, everybody. It's your first babysitting quest.
I love
Yay,
escort
escort quest.
quests. Yeah, see, Joshy understands me.
Let's hope he doesn't go faster than a walk, but slower than a run.
His walking
Oh,
speed is
God.
20.
His walking speed is 20.
That's a joke.
Is
I
that
was about to
specific?
say, I would fix that real fucking quick. I would burn every single spell slot I had to put Expeditious Retreat on him, if that's the case. Every single
I
one.
was just gonna have someone make a harness, and, like, strap him to one of the big boys we got. Like, I'm not like 20. Gonna get a baby Bjorn for this human and strap him to a Goliath.
Is that something that you do, Kat? Are you do you typically give rides to people who you find interesting? I forgot
Well,
Jeremy's voice.
it depends on the kind of ride and what kind of interest, but I have been known to slip into a baby Bjorn.
Oh god.
Is that standard issue?
Baby Bjorns for my company? No. For my boudoir? No.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Absolutely
So I think
wonderful.
that's where we're gonna call it
Utterly
a
epic.
close tonight. It's getting a little late on our end, especially late on someone else's end, and I think that's as far as I've even like. I will tell you right now, I had written to where you guys landed at the fucking beach, and everything else has been off the top of my head. So I hope it hasn't sucked. But I've been avoiding a lot of story stuff because we don't have a full party.
Right.
We got some armor, we got some level ups. Everybody got to see their little thing they discussed with me. I'm sorry, Fox. You totally reminded me that you were supposed to do that thing, and my brain died, and I was
It's
just
okay.
trying to give you a big smashy hammer. So good call because I forgot. But yeah, I hope that everybody has enjoyed this session. I basically winged it, so
Two enthusiastic thumbs up from me.
very good, very good.
Agreed.
A lot of you made very interesting choices with your subclasses, which I'm all about. It has been discovered that Transmutation Wizard is absolutely OP in ship combat, so that's a fun thing to remember.
Yes. Just slightly.
The ability to just put a hole in a boat. All you have to do is get there, get close enough to touch it for 10 minutes, and it's fucking over for that boat.
Yeah.
So, does anybody have any comments,
All right.
questions,
Let me-
any issues they might have?
All right, guys. It has been phenomenal. It has been a blast. As we're wrapping up the session for tonight, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream as well. I hope all of you have a fantastic night. I will see you all tomorrow. We're going to be picking up Control some more. So let's get some gaming in